Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with episode 4 of the We Argue podcast. We got a special guest here today. We're going to get a little bit of an insight into a Chargers fan mind.
Ooh.
Somewhat of a born winner. I wouldn't really go as that far, but, it's not Tom Brady esque, but we're almost there. They got the franchise quarterback, but I'm here to introduce Russell. He's going to be a little bit of our Chargers fan insider with the NFL. Go ahead and introduce yourself here, Russ.
Bolt up, baby. Good to
Bolt
be
up.
here.
Okay,
That's
perfect,
horrible.
perfect.
I'm
Okay,
excited.
well, it's better than being a Vikings fan, Russ. So I
Oh,
can't. Okay, well, okay, but don't
that
worry.
stinks, bro.
Yeah, well, guess what? Russ is going to be here, and he's going to show us everything that he knows about football. But basically, what we're doing here today is we're going to be ranking all the teams based off their draft picks. We're going to see if they turn into a contender, a playoff team, maybe on the fringe of a playoff team, mediocre, or if they still stayed at the bottom. Um, I'm not going to lie, Miko, now that I'm reading this, bottom 8 means we got to choose 8 teams to be at the bottom. So we're going to have to figure that out now. But that's perfectly fine because guess what? We're the best in the business when it comes to the NFL. So just go ahead and get started here. What did you guys think of the 49ers draft here? They had a lot of needs. They definitely had a lot on defense, 6-11 last year. Fourth in the NFC West, not very good. Our NBA insider is a die-hard 49ers fan, so I felt really bad for him. But it looks like they addressed a lot of the defensive side needs in the draft. But what did you guys think?
What you think, Russ?
Uh, don't really like this draft overall. I really like Mikael Williams, and that's kind of it. I don't know why they drafted a quarterback.
Yes, I
I
did
don't.
see that at the bottom too here, Russ. I did see that they got the Curtis
Curtis Rourke.
Roquette from Indiana. So that's kind of a shocker, but we have seen the 49ers in the past run out of quarterbacks. So maybe they know something. Yeah, maybe they know something we don't. So,
Bro, are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, I don't see it.
no, no. Don't worry, boys. A little bit of technical difficulties here. What do we got here now, boys, huh? We got it?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, perfect.
All right. All right. So yeah, the first up is 49ers, right? So
Yes, sir.
I noticed that the 49ers did draft. What is this? One, two, three, four or five players within five defensive players within the first 4 rounds.
They did.
Yeah. So obviously they're definitely compensating for some. A lot of guys did leave off of their defensive team. They did grab a wide receiver. We all know Samuels is, what I'm saying, officially gone. They also got Jordan James, which is a running back because Christian McCaffrey fucking stay hurt. So
That's correct.
I personally believe that this team is set up for success this year. I want to put them in the fringe playoff team category because I think the Rams and the Seahawks are going to be better this year, and they are going to overtake that division. So that would be
Yeah,
my choice.
Yeah, because I was going to put them in the same place. Like I said, I think their biggest need was defense, and I personally didn't think they were going to go as many draft picks in the defense as they did. But it seems like they're going all in just to go back to the place they kind of left off at. So hoping it works.
Yep.
But what do you think, Russ? Where would you put the 49ers at?
I would agree, fringe playoff team.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
A
Yeah,
healthy Christian McCaffrey though is a playoff team though, possibly a
yeah,
contender. So
100%. I mean,
I just don't trust the fact that he'll be healthy.
when he came back onto the field when he was out for a little bit, I mean, if it wasn't for that fucking snow, I mean, Jesus Christ, that man was already in line to get some pretty good yardage on there. But yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad we all agree on this one. I think the 49ers are going to pick up where they left off, hopefully, and hopefully the injuries stay away from them. But
Now
going
the
into our
question is,
next,
okay,
go
hold
ahead,
on, hold on.
go ahead.
The question is, are you going to draft him first round, Christian McCaffrey, for
Absolutely
the
not.
fantasy?
Absolutely not. If I get the first pick again, absolutely not.
That's what you need right there, bro.
But
Just
you
go
know
ahead
what,
and
Miko, you're giving the people a little bit of a sneak peek of a different video, so we're just going to leave it at that there. We're going to move on to the Chicago Bears. I believe this was a very good and interesting draft for the Chicago Bears. They thought a
Yeah.
lot about Caleb Williams, man, and I appreciate the Chicago Bears doing that, but basically 5-12, not very good. I mean, they had a rookie quarterback, can't really expect too much. I mean, they just had a lot of needs when it came to offensive line and stuff like that. Their defense was a little suspect. Fourth in NFC North, so a couple of the things that they went in for is it looks like they got a tight end in the first round, wide receiver in the second round, offensive
Mhm.
tackle, defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback. They got another guard, and then they got a running back from the Rudigers. So, what do you guys think? I think they really thought about Caleb Williams in this draft specifically, and they got a lot out of last year's haul for Bryce Young. So I thought that was a pretty good draft for them this year. What do you guys think?
Yeah, they definitely did. They got, you know what I'm saying, they got three offensive players, especially in the first round or the first 3 rounds. This team is set up for success as well. I just don't like their coaching staff at all, me personally. But
Didn't they just get
I do
benched?
like I did see a couple of highlights from Luther Burton III. He is a solid player out of Missouri. But other than that, this is a really hard division to actually play in, which is the NFC North. So somebody's got to be left out, and it's going to be the Bears because I don't trust their coaching staff.
I'm kind of
Russell?
the opposite. I like Ben Johnson. We'll see what he's like as a head coach, but I really like him. I really like Colston Loveland. I was a little upset. I wanted him to fall to the Chargers, but that didn't happen. The rest of the draft, I actually really like. I like the O line. I like the D line. I like safety. Protect Caleb Williams. Get him some weapons. Overall, I actually really like this draft.
One thing I did
I would
want to
say
ask you
French.
guys about this one though is, I mean, I thought Cole Komet was pretty good. I don't know, did he get moved? Did he get another contract, or am I
I
missing
have
something
no
here?
idea what's up with Cole Kmet.
Because I
I think he's
mean,
still with the Bears.
yeah, because I thought he was a pretty solid tight end. I mean, but I mean, obviously they're probably looking to get maybe a double tight end setup with Loveland. But I mean, to all to them, if they're trying to just make sure get a game plan to get a game scheme for Caleb Williams, that's good too. But what do you
They
guys
do
think?
got to work on their run game. So you know what I'm saying. They did get an they got a couple offensive tackles
They did.
actually
Yep.
with the tight end. So DeAndre Swift, I assume, will be getting the ball a little bit more this year. But I'm still going mediocre because they play in the NFC North.
Ooh.
Mediocre. What do you think, Russ?
I would say fringe playoff.
Wow.
Oh,
So I'm gonna
wow.
I'm gonna be the deciding factor in this one. Sounds like. Um, I don't know, man. It just it's all built about around Caleb Williams. It will really all depend how he does.
That's for every team, bro. Every team is built around the quarterback.
Yeah, bro, but like this one's like specifically tailored for this guy. Like it's like other teams, like yeah, they get you a couple things here or there, but they're like, who do you, what do you need? And they gave him Caleb Williams gave him a fucking shopping list. That's what Caleb Williams did. But it'll really all depend on what he does. I mean, I'm not too sure. It just to me it just seems like yeah, I think it's going to be a workout, but also if Caleb Williams doesn't play good, then it's going to be like what's the point of all this draft if they does? So I'm honestly gonna go. Sorry, Russell, but I'm gonna go mediocre because
Yes,
and I know I'm sorry because I think this is a
yes.
really good Bears team. The defense I still think needs a little bit of more tweaks, but especially not paying attention during a play that was retarded last season. Don't know why the hell he did that. They could have won that game, but I think they just got a little bit more that they need to do, and I just got to see a little bit more Caleb Williams. That's why I put them on mediocre.
Mm.
I could get behind that. I'm not a big believer in Caleb Williams, but I do love Ben
Oh,
Johnson quite a lot.
wow. Well, I'm a big believer in Caleb Williams, but
Oh,
yeah, but I just got to see it, man. I'm a believer, but you got to see it sometimes. So, uh, all right, going into a team that I really didn't follow too much in the draft and what they needed. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, we're on to the Cincinnati Bengals, and I don't really. I mean, besides offensive line to protect that bad boy, Mr. Fucking Joe Burrow, I didn't really see what else these guys needed. Let's see.
the
9-8,
defense.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they need
right.
to
Yeah,
defense.
9-8, third in the AFC North. Looks like they needed an edge rusher, safety, linebacker, offensive lineman, and cornerback. So pretty much all defense. Which I don't think that they get. What's that dude that they were trying to re-sign? Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if they got that done, but it looks like they kind of covered a couple of bases on here. So looks like they took edge, linebacker, guard, linebacker, offensive tackle, and a running back. So what do you guys think about the
Yep.
Bengals?
Yeah, with an edge for the first round, they're definitely Hendrickson is definitely his contract talks is definitely on the table right now since they drafted an edge because they kind of already know about that. So they drafted an edge. They got a linebacker. They really focusing on defense because if you watched last season, defense or offensive teams were just scoring on them like crazy. Joe Burrow had to score like 45 points to win by 3. It's not sustainable in the NFL. So they're definitely bolstering that. Uh, Offensively, they're clicking on all cylinders. Joe Burrow does what Joe Burrow does. They have Jamar Chase, who's one of the best wide receivers in the game. And they got his, you know what I'm saying, his Robin, which is T. Higgins. So this team can put up a lot of points. I think if they just figure out somehow to just get a turnover every now and then, they would be a dope team. So I'm putting this team as a playoff contender.
Russell?
I kind of agree. I wish they would. I mean, we'll see. There's still some free agency left, but the O line and defense, I think, need more. I don't think you can rely on rookies to fix a defense for them right now. But their offense is super explosive. I would put them as a playoff team, 100%.
I'm going to be right there with you guys. I mean, the offense really held this team together. I mean, scoring 35 points at every game is going to be pretty hard, but I mean, if they, like Miko said, if they could just get one stop, one turnover, or just maybe even make a play on to end the game, so it doesn't have to be on all
Mhm.
Joe Burrow. I mean, I'm all for it. It's just we'll see what happens. Like you said, Russell, it's just you're putting all this faith into rookies, so I mean, they're gonna make mistakes, things are gonna happen, but I mean, can't really go too much into it. But going on to our next team, we do have someone that was in the playoffs and was a high contender going into the season. We got the Buffalo Bills here. Um, I don't really know too much. I think they really just needed some offensive weapons from what I saw. It looks like they were kind of running low on receivers. They had Amari Cooper. They didn't really use him. Don't know why. He was just out there running cardio. I have no idea why they had that guy out there, but it looks like the for Buffalo Bills they were 13 and 4, first in the AFC East. Obviously, the Patriots got some work to do. Uh, Top needs were some cornerbacks, defensive linemen, wide receiver, edge, and safety. So a little bit more on the defensive end. What do you guys think? We got a couple of we got cornerback, defensive tackle, edge, defensive tackle, cornerback, tight end, and cornerback, offensive tackle, and wide receiver. What do you guys think about the Buffalo Bills?
You go first, Russ.
To be honest with you, this is the first time that I'm looking at who they
Yeah,
drafted.
yeah, me too. I was on the same boat.
But I like the ads on defense. I actually think that's really really nice. They have a nice offense, so I think bolstering up a defense is a really good idea.
Mhm.
I like it. I would say contender. They're always a contender.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're always a contender with Josh Allen over there in the back. Yeah,
That's
they
reigning
definitely both
MVP Josh Allen. Just in case you
reigning
didn't know.
MVP
Just in
Josh
case you
Allen.
didn't
Yeah,
know, buddy.
they definitely bolstered their defense. They're trying to get younger on that side of the ball. I'm not sure. Was Von Miller on the team last year? Was
Uh,
he hurt? What?
yeah, he was.
I
I
don't
think he was
remember.
hurt. I think he was hurt.
All
I think he's
right,
a free agent right now.
I think he's a free agent right now. Yeah, so that makes sense why they got an edge rusher again. You know what I'm saying, Landon Johnson or Jackson. But
Joey Bosa.
They did.
yeah,
Yeah, Joey Bosa for 1 year. Yeah.
this team is still running the AFC East. So I know we got a Patriots fan in the chat.
Hold
This
on.
team right here is still the best team in the AFC East. I'm putting them as Super Bowl contenders.
Okay, we are all in agreement then. Contenders. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Josh Allen. He made things work with with nothing, at least in my opinion. I don't know how the hell he did it. He lost to Stephon Diggs, and I thought it was going to be a little bit of a uphill battle, but they got stuff done. But going into our next team, a little interesting pick here, the Denver Broncos. I'm pretty high on the Denver Broncos, man. They showed us a little bit of what we kind of thought they could be, but I don't know, man. They turned out a lot better than I thought. I didn't think they would do that. It looks like Sean Payton's got these guys playing pretty good football, but they were 10 and 7. still a winning record, third in the AFC West. That AFC West is not a joke, especially with the Kansas City Chiefs in there. But a couple of the
Hmm.
needs that they needed was running back, wide receiver, cornerback, tight end, and defensive lineman. Going into the draft, they got cornerback, running back, wide receiver, edge. Is that a punt return? Is that punter? My
I think it's a punter.
Punter,
punter and a
yeah.
punter. Okay, a tight end from Utah. But what do you guys think? I think they did pretty good on trying to bolster up that defense here too.
They definitely did. They got two edge rushers, which is exactly what they need because I have no idea who else was rushing the ball carrier during that time. They got a running back. I forgot who the running back was last. I want to say was it Javante Williams? Was
They
he the
did
running back last
yes,
year?
yes, it was,
Yeah.
and I think
I
he
want to
went
say
to the
Javante.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I remember he did get hurt and like he came back and he was only rushing for like 50 yards a game and it was killing me in the goddamn fantasy football. So they definitely needed a running back. They got a corner. I actually like their corners. I don't understand why corners was like an actual need. Did somebody leave that I'm unaware of?
I'm not too sure. It says they needed a running back one.
Yeah, they had Miller. What's that was Miller, right?
It
Uh,
looks like
they had
it says it just they wanted to improve the depth on defense. So I don't know if that means maybe injury prone. I didn't really see the cornerbacks be out too much for the Denver Broncos, but I could have probably missed it.
yeah. Besides the cornerback getting torched by T Higgins, he actually had a good decent season. So I'm not sure what that was about, but I think just being in this division, you know what I'm saying, with the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Diego Chargers. I said San Diego, huh? LA Chargers. This is definitely a mediocre team. I don't see them making the playoffs again.
Wow,
Bo Nix will have a sophomore slump. He's going to fall back.
Russell.
I kind of agree. I like Bo
Wow.
Nix. I think Bo Nix did great. Like, I think he was way better than anyone expected. Sean Payton's really good. I know there was some controversy with their first round pick because they picked a cornerback, but they had the number 2 overall running back available and passed him for a cornerback. And that was kind of confusing to me too, but they have a pretty stout defense, so I don't really blame them for
Yeah,
depth, especially in a really hard division.
You got to face
I
Patrick
w-
Mahomes, man.
they do got to face
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes, but once a year they got to come to Denver. You know what I'm saying?
and don't forget they got to face Justin Herbert. All right,
That is true. I'm sorry for disrespecting Justin Herbert like that.
I I think fringe playoff. I think they could be second in the division potentially, and even if they get third, I think they could make the playoffs.
I'm gonna agree with you here, Russ. I think the Denver Broncos are a fringe playoff team. I think they got the stuff that they need. I think they were just really missing a run game, like Miko said. Ever since Mr. Williams came back off injury, it just wasn't really working out. But I think they're just maybe a couple of things away from probably being a really good contender here. And I mean, I don't know, maybe even getting second place over the Chargers. Who knows? Really? I mean, the Chargers are a good team though, so we'll get into that right now. But going into one of the more interesting teams, I would say they like making people wait. I will say that, and apparently drafting a quarterback and then another quarterback, which the other quarterback that they drafted first isn't as good as the second quarterback. But we're on to the
True.
Cleveland Browns. I don't really understand too much of what they did, to be honest. 3-14, always terrible. Fourth in the AFC North. Obviously, they needed a quarterback, offensive line, edge, running back, wide receiver. Obviously, guys, they did trade out of their, I believe it was the third overall pick, if I am not mistaken. They moved back a couple of spots. They could have had a couple of things. I don't know. It was kind of a little confusing to me. They just switching out just like that. But their first round pick was defensive tackle. Then they got a linebacker, running back. I really actually like this running back from Ohio State. He's going to be really good. Tight end. And then this is where we get a little interesting here. Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, quarterback. And then they got a running back from Tennessee. And then they got Shador Sanders in the fifth round, pick number 6.
Hmm.
Um, just kind of interested to see what you guys think. I think this was a waste of a pick. if they knew Shador Sanders was going to fall this far down, I would have just probably got this round 3 pick to something else. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think.
Did you guys see the video of the front office when they drafted him? And they're all
Yeah, they're all just
just not amused at all.
Okay, I got some insight on that though. Apparently, it was mostly like, I guess there was like a delay in the stream. So like all the celebratory things that they did, they had just finished doing. I don't know how true that is, but just
Oh.
something that I
that is
guess they
not
said.
true. Nobody had a
Yeah.
smile on their face or anything,
Look,
bro. That is
bro,
not true.
the fact that you don't have a smile on your face for a player that could be the future quarterback for like a while in your franchise is kind of it's kind of sus. Yes. But like, do you guys really think he was actually like blacklisted? Like, just hey, let's leave him there just because of all the things that he does, or do you think there was maybe an honest reason why they just left him on the board for so long?
So I have a little bit of insight on this. All right, I actually
Oh
have
God.
somebody. I know, right? I've been doing my research. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking to people on phones and shit like that, doing my Stephen A. Smith shit. You know what I'm saying? So apparently, from what I've heard, that multiple teams actually, I can actually give you a number. 14 teams actually called, and Dion told them no. So
I heard
Wow.
the same
do
thing.
with that information as you wish. So yes, 14 other teams actually called inquiring about Shador Sanders. Dion said no. So that could be a reason why he fails so goddamn much in his draft.
Really? Wow. That's possibly one of the worst agents I've ever heard then, because he went
Yeah,
from making $40 million to only making 4 point something $1 million, just as much as maybe his NIL deal.
I know it's bad, but
I mean,
You guys,
so yeah, this I do like their defensive tackle though, Mason Graham. I think
yeah,
he's going to be an automatic. He's going to be an automatic plug-in guy
yeah,
as playing in the what division is the AFC North with
yep.
Pittsburgh and what the Ravens and the Bengals. He can definitely be a run stopper. So you know what I'm saying, the runs up the middle, is really hard going to get past Mason Graham. So he's going to be a day one starter. And as far as Shador, that's a really tough quarterback room he's going to be in between Kenny Pickett. I know Deshaun Jackson is not going to be back anytime soon, and
Wait,
Joe
Deshaun
Flacco, I think.
Watson?
yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
Deshaun Jackson's
Yeah,
in the league.
Deshaun Jackson was a wide receiver, buddy.
no, I said Deshaun Watson.
No, you didn't.
All
No, you
right,
didn't.
whatever. Deshaun Watson
I'll
and
cut that out of
Joe
the video.
Flacco. That's a tough quarterback room to be in. So
Really? You think that's a tough quarterback room
he
to be in?
definitely has an uphill battle. Him and his brother, they both have an uphill battle trying to get on the depth chart. But
Bro, are you dead ass right now?
I'm dead ass, yo. Shador Sanders, will he make the depth chart? I believe so, but it is an uphill battle.
Can I ask you
He's
something
drafted
before?
in the
Sorry,
fifth
Russell. I'm
round,
sorry
bro.
this is going right now, but
You're
are you
drafted in the
dead
fifth
serious?
round.
You don't think
You're
Shador
drafted
Sanders?
in
All
the.
right, before you keep going, is Shador Sanders better than Kenny Pickett?
I don't.
I don't
Really?
know. I don't
Kenny
know.
Absolutely.
Pickett has
Bro,
NFL snaps.
Kenny Pickett
You
is
can't just
fucking trash, bro. Let's be
Kenny
real.
Pickett
Why are
has
we lying to the
NFL
people?
snaps.
Why are we lying to the people?
Kenny Pickett has
All
NFL
right, next
snaps,
one.
bro.
Next one. All right,
There's a
whatever.
difference.
Next one. Joe Flacco.
There's
Is he better than
Joe
Joe
Is he
Flacco?
Flacco?
better than Joe Flacco?
Yes. Yes, he is.
No. No, he's not.
Talent wise, yes.
What?
Talent wise,
There
yes.
is no talking to you guys, really. Jesus Christ.
Talent wise, Shador Sanders is better than
That's
Joe
what the draft's
Flacco.
all about. That's why
But
you get these guys for the
but
talent.
Joe Flacco been in the league for how long? He knows the
Oh,
Browns.
I'm
He's played
sorry.
with them
Never mind.
before.
Sorry. He won a couple of games for the Browns, and everyone thought he was fucking Jesus
He
Christ.
won a couple playoff games,
Oh,
not
okay.
just any random ass games. He won a
Shador
playoff
Sanders can
game
get you
for him,
to the
bro.
place to the fucking Holy Land. That's what you need to
Joe
go.
Flacco is a
Fuck the
Super Bowl
playoff.
champion.
Fuck the
So you
playoff
know.
games. We need
Joe
to get to
Flacco
the
is a
Holy
Super
Land.
Bowl champion. Don't disrespect Joe Flacco like that.
Well, all
Hold
right.
on. How
Well,
many?
what about the guy they got before him?
I believe Shador is way better than that dude. I don't
Okay.
think. I think, like I said, I think the Browns called. Dion told them no, so they said, "Oh fuck, well we do need a quarterback, and we don't know if Shador is even gonna fucking play for us." So they drafted him.
Of course he's playing for him. Sorry about that, Russell. What do you think, buddy? I'm sorry. That just kind of got me a little heated in the moment.
Here's what I think. No, fuck that.
Oh, here we
Here's
go.
what I think.
Okay, here we go.
Here's
Let's
what
go,
I
bro. Let's
think.
go stat for stat.
Here's what I think about the Shador Sanders things. Right. Here's what's going to happen in preseason.
He's gonna smoke everyone in that quarterback room. That's what's gonna happen.
They're going to play him in preseason. I personally don't think Shador Sanders really wants to be in Cleveland. They're going to
No
play
one
him in
wants to be in
preseason.
Cleveland.
They're going to play him in preseason. They're going to get tape on him. They're going to trade him. They're going to trade him in preseason. That's what I believe is going to happen.
That'd be the most stupidest move I've ever seen.
That will not.
Bro, this guy's got a fucking chip on his shoulder now, bro. This guy's ready to
He does
fucking.
got a chip on his shoulder.
He's getting ready to murder the
He
entire
absolutely
league
does.
for skipping him this far. You're gonna
He
trade this guy
absolutely
away?
does.
You trade Dillian Gabriel. You trade that fucking loser.
I don't think Shador really wants
By the way,
to be
Gabriel, I don't know if you're actually gonna watch this, but you might be one of the nicest people I probably could ever meet. I don't think you're a
there.
piece
Yeah,
of
man.
shit.
Shout out to Dylan Gabriel. Yo,
Yeah,
shout out to him.
I watched a video of you listening to Sexy Red. Clap that ass, make that ass, fucking whatever. I fuck with you. But enough about us here, Miko. We've been arguing. Russell, what do you think, buddy?
So first of all, Shador Sanders has only won 2 playoff games in his college career. I don't know if that's
okay.
enough.
Come on, bro. They're
to stay in the
rebuilding
Black.
stage in Colorado. You expect more?
Free.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
Joe Flacco has 10 playoff wins in the NFL.
That's the NFL, bro.
That's got to count for something.
All right. Well, wait until he comes in there.
Grown man league.
I kind of think this is brilliant by the Browns because they got like a hell of a steal for like if he is a first round talent.
Yeah.
Like if he performs like a first round talent,
He was the
they're-
second
I mean,
best
it's kinda like a
quarterback,
Brock
bro.
Purdy situation. I don't know.
You don't think he was the second best quarterback in that draft? Behind
He
Cam
was
Ward?
the second best quarterback in that draft.
Who do
I agree
wait,
with you on that.
hold on, Miko. Hold on,
But
Miko.
when your daddy says no, the dad says no, man.
Russell,
You don't want to be there.
What do you have to say about that? Who do you think it was better than, besides Cam Ward, in that draft more than Shador Sanders?
Hold on, let me pull it up.
Will Howard? You thought that guy's better than that? Dillian Gabriel?
No.
The guy from Louisville that they got from fucking the
Actually,
New Orleans
maybe-
Saints? The meme guy?
Who's the guy who? Oh, Jackson Dart. I do like Jackson Dart.
No, you don't. You don't like Jackson.
You
Dart.
gotta
Don't
stop.
say that.
You hearing
I
this,
like him.
Miko? Look, you
Don't
know what, Miko?
say that.
We
You don't
are
like
times
Jackson
2
Dart.
against
Nobody likes
Russell. There is no way
You've
you just
never
said
seen an Ole Miss game ever in your
Yeah,
life.
That being
Russell,
said,
don't say that.
that one video of him throwing at the combine or in his pro day was.
that's the Louisville guy. That's the Louisville guy.
That's the Louisville guy.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not
So
John.
Tyler
That's not
Show?
John. That's
Yeah,
Dart.
Tyler
See, you don't
Show.
even know who Dart is.
I know,
Jesus Christ.
but I
Yeah,
watched.
you talking about Tyler Show?
All right,
I
American
watched him on
people.
Jordan Show, and
I'm
I
watching
liked
you
him.
dead in the eye right now. They don't know what they're talking about. Shador Sanders is going to be a great thing. Shador, if you're watching, I would love to come out to your Twitch channel. I would like to go support Deion Prime Sanders, and I think he's the best player to ever play in the NFL. All right,
Oh.
Russell, what do you guys think?
Mediocre, maybe even bottom 8.
I was
Bottom
gonna
8.
say
This is
bottom
the
8.
Browns.
Yes, this is-
Bottom
yeah.
8.
Yeah, I was gonna put bottom 8.
Is
Even-
Chubb a free agent?
Okay, so
Even with
let's
Shador,
keep this in mind. All right, so they still have Myles Garrett on the defensive side. Their defensive side is pretty good.
There
They
is,
play
yeah.
really well, especially in like November, December. I think they personally play pretty well in November, December. Is Nick Chubb going to be back? Do y'all know?
I do
I
not
don't
know.
know.
Okay. I think you guys are right. I'll put them at bottom 8. But Mason Graham and Myles Garrett, that's going to be a nice little duo right there. I'm curious to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty disruptive in the defensive line. But going into another Sanders family pick here, the Tampa
Before
Bay.
that,
Oh, okay.
did
go
you
ahead, Russ.
see that? Did you see that Shiloh changed agents?
Yes, he did.
He said,
Sorry,
He said,
Dad.
fuck
Yes.
his dad. I
think
need
Cam-
another agent because
That-
you fucking me over.
You know what that's called, gentlemen? A grown man move. That's what that is.
That is a
Alright.
grown man move.
So,
I agree with you.
but going into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, guys. Not too familiar with what they needed as well. I know they got a couple of things here. Let's see. They were 10-7, first in NFC South, so nothing to really shy about. They need a linebacker, cornerback, edge, safety, and offensive line. So it looks like it's all defense, and then something to protect Baker Mayfield here. So with the first one, they went completely opposite. They got a wide receiver from Ohio State,
Yeah,
quarterback,
he was the best.
Oh, go
He was
ahead.
the best available on the board during the time, so
Yeah,
they
but is
kind
it
of
what
had
you
to.
really need though, Miko? That's the
I think
question.
they do. With
Really?
Mike
yeah,
Evans is getting older, bro. Let's be
yeah,
real.
Bro, Mike Evans is a beast.
and
Even
He is
he's
the
foul.
older
beast,
too.
but
What?
he
No.
will miss.
Who you
He's
should be talking
guaranteed to
about?
miss
What's the other guy's name?
Chris Godwin.
Yeah, that
Godwin.
guy,
Yeah,
bro. That guy's injury prone. Okay, if you're gonna
Yeah,
replace Chris Godwin with that guy, okay,
Mike Evans is guaranteed to miss 5 games a season.
okay, and then he comes back and fucking recoups him.
5 games is a lot, though, bro.
Okay, it's better than Christian McCaffrey.
you're not wrong.
All right, let's keep going before Miko keeps going about fucking Mike Evans being fucking trash. Apparently, they got 2 cornerbacks, back-to-back rounds, back-to-back edge rushers, and then they got another wide receiver from Oregon in round 7. What do you guys think?
This draft, I have no idea what the fuck the Bucks were thinking, yo. So they do got a nice defense. I really like their defense.
Yeah, they got a better defense now. Apparently,
I felt like they needed a running back. I don't understand why they didn't go after a running back. I don't understand why they didn't go after maybe a tight end to help facilitate, you know what I'm saying, some running schemes for that running back.
They got
But
Bucky Irving and
Bucky
Rashad White.
Irving,
and Rashad
Bucky
wasn't it
Irving, he's pretty.
Rashad White? Or am I tripping?
yeah, Rashad
Yeah,
White's done, bro.
Is he?
He's
He's still like
Bucky
a
Irving took his job.
yeah, but he's
Bucky
still
Irving was nice, but I didn't personally didn't see enough of him to be like, oh, Bucky Irving. He did take the starting job, yes,
yeah, but
but he didn't
Rashad
like
White's
really do
mostly like a
nothing with it.
receiving running back, so he's gonna be like
No,
catching
he's
everything.
not,
Yeah, he is,
bro.
bro.
No, he's not.
Bro,
No,
what?
he's
I
not.
haven't. What? All right.
No, he's not.
Apparently, Miko
He's
knows everything about the Tampa Bay fucking Buccaneers. Apparently now.
right now. I do apparently. Shit. So this team right here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't even know what the fuck is in their division.
The
I'm going with,
Saints. Oh,
huh?
the Saints. Carolina Panthers and the Falcons.
Falcon. That's the NFC.
That's
That's
South.
NFC. That is NFC South, huh? That's disgusting.
See, ladies and
Uh,
gentlemen of America, can you really trust this guy's word? Really? Or are you
so
gonna believe this guy who knows?
I'm gonna put this team. They got Shiloh. You know what I'm saying? First off,
Oh,
they
here we
don't
go.
need a safety. They
Yeah, they
got
don't.
Anton Winfield.
Yeah.
They have I forgot the other guy's name, but they got some really solid players on the defensive side. So they really don't need help on that side. Maybe just to add a little bit more depth. Maybe you know what I'm saying. I think Shiloh's going to play special teams. Whew! I think this team is going to be mediocre this year. I'm not a big fan of Baker Mayfield like that, like everybody
Okay.
else.
Wow. Damn. Yeah, you take a sip of that fucking
Mhm.
Henny, you're gonna need it, buddy. Go ahead, Russ.
I'm the opposite. I think this team's really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I think they're winning the division, so for sure a playoff team. I like Bucky Irving. I like Rashad White. I think they have a good running game. I think the wide receiver signing was perfect. Mike Evans is getting older. Chris Godwin is kind of injury. Well, they're both injury prone, but Chris Godwin's coming back from a pretty bad one.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'd
he
put him
is.
as a playoff team, 100%, winning the division. I
Mm,
don't see any other team beating them really.
yeah, I
They
mean,
might
if you're
The Falcons, yo. The
the
Falcons.
Falcons are
Believe
my
in Penix, yo.
yeah.
Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. Take me to the promised land, yo.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna pick it a little bit in the middle here, guys. We're just gonna go fringe playoff team. I'll be the deciding factor here. I think there's still a little bit of things that they need here. Specifically, if you're gonna put your trust into rookie wide receivers, if Chris Godwin goes down, or if Mike Evans goes down I was gonna say Chris Evans, Mike Evans goes down for 5 games. I don't really know how that's gonna play out for Baker Mayfield. He has been known to maybe overshoot and be a gunslinger, and I don't know if that's a perfect fit for some rookie wide receivers that are just coming into the league. But that's kind of how
Wait,
I see it.
Jose, do you know who they play this year?
They play the Patriots.
They do actually.
Yeah, perfect. No, I don't.
Hold on. So Eagles. I think that's it. That's an L.
That's
They
it.
start the
That's the
season
only
with the
loss you think
Eagles.
they'll get.
49ers.
That might be a close game. They might win it. They'll win it though.
Probably a win. Patriots.
We'll get to my
Win.
Patriots.
Easy win.
What? Oh, you guys
Easy win.
are. What? Can I see that cup, Miko? Let me see what else you got in that bad
Nobody
boy.
cares about the Patriots, bro. Easy
Wow.
win.
Wow.
Let me tell you their opponents because I think they're gonna have a winning record.
Go ahead, talk it.
Eagles. Eagles, 49ers, Patriots, Jets, Cardinals, Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Rams, Seahawks, Dolphins, Bills, Lions, Texans, Falcons, Saints, Panthers.
Bro,
There is 10 losses
yeah,
in
I was
that
gonna say,
goddamn
yeah,
schedule.
what? Bro, you did. As soon as you said like Lions and all that other shit, I was like, yeah, they're losing a lot of those games.
There's 10
Here, hold on. You know
losses,
what,
bro.
ladies and gentlemen? Let's put it up on the screen here.
I have 6 losses.
I got 10.
10?
I got 10 losses in that schedule you just named. Yes.
Hey, Russell. By the way, I don't know if that's the actual official one that's
That's the
released.
2025 opponents.
Is it really? It says it's
Yeah.
not even the Bucks homepage has it. It says it's gonna release May.
No, I have it right in front of me. So the schedule isn't out, but
You're
there's
not going to
all
know
the
the dates yet, but yeah,
it's
they
on their
release who they're playing against.
it's
I see.
future opponents.
I see. Future opponents. So Bucks. Future opponents. Here we go.
Yeah,
This
on their
one.
site, on their website.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Falcons. That's a toss up. Bills.
Loss.
Loss. Win.
Loss.
All right. So that's 1, 2. Loss. Lions.
Loss.
Loss to the Rams.
Loss. A loss to the Texans. Don't skip the
What?
Texans.
Yeah,
What? Wow.
A
Really?
loss to the Texans.
Damn.
I would agree.
You think the Texans can beat those guys?
Yes. What do you
It's
mean?
close, but yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's what. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dolphins is a loss.
Oh, I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that's close.
Come on, buddy.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is-
Dolphins is a
Yeah.
loss.
There's
Fucking.
a lot of ifs there.
No, absolutely not. You're fucking smoking on that one.
Hmm.
And that's 5. 5 losses with the Eagles.
Is that their whole schedule?
Yeah, that's the
No.
that's it. Yeah.
There is 10 losses on this schedule, yo.
I do not
Bro,
see 10
10
teams
losses?
that are
No.
beating them.
I see 10, I
Five,
see the
5 or 6,
I
yes.
see the I see them losing one game to the Falcons, right? 1 out of 2. I see them losing to the Bills. I see them losing to the Lions. I see them losing to the Texans. I see them losing to the Rams. I see them losing to the Dolphins. I see them losing to the Seahawks.
Okay.
I can see them losing 1 out of the 2 games to the Saints.
What?
To the
And I
Saints?
can see
Spencer
them,
Rattler? You're
They don't
smoking.
Spencer Rattler. At
yes,
best, Derek Carr.
You're
Derek
smoking.
Carr, yo.
At best.
They don't
And
even know
I
if
can
Derek
see
Carr's
them,
gonna fucking play.
and I can see them losing to the 49ers.
Oh my
I'm
god.
done with this. We can't keep looking at that.
You guys are tripping, yo.
Miko is fucking
Y'all are tripping.
smoking.
Y'all really believe in Baker Mayfield and all this bullshit that
Yeah.
he can fucking pull,
I
right?
think he can have a 5-loss record. That's fine.
No.
He had an amazing season. What was their record last year? 10 and something?
It was 10-7.
10-7.
And look, they could be what 12. What is that? 12-5. That's an easy
Or they
12
could
and
be
5 schedule.
7 and fucking 10. That's easily done.
Well, enough about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, huh, guys? Because Tom Brady's not there anymore. So let's
A
just move it
fringe
along here.
playoff team. Get the
We're
fuck
going
outta
to a
here.
team that I really don't even care about, so we might make this one quick because something
Yeah, fuck
upcoming
this
is
team.
going to be great here for Bolt Up Nation.
Ooh.
The Arizona Cardinals, man. I have no fucking idea what these guys drafted. Let's find out together though.
So I got you on this. Jose. So
Okay.
they drafted first round. They drafted a defensive tackle. They also got a corner. They got an edge rusher. They got a linebacker, a corner, offensive guard, as well as a safety. They went straight defensive heavy, as we all know. You know what I'm saying? Their offense is pretty lackluster. They can score 40 points. They can score 10 points on any given week. So their defense does not hold anything down. They constantly let go 3 touchdowns a game, 21 points or whatnot. So they definitely needed help on the defensive side, and that was really their main focus. They did get one offensive guard, but every team can use an offensive guard. So for this, I am going in their division that they play. I think they will go mediocre. I am mediocre on this team. Not bottom 8. I think they're not bottom just yet, but they're getting close. They're scratching that surface.
Russell?
I would probably agree they're borderline bottom 8 mediocre. I don't know why. I always believe in Kyler. We'll see with Marvin Harrison in his second year. I'm kind of curious to see if he improves. He could be really, really great, but I think that division's pretty tough, and I don't really see them winning a whole lot of games.
Hmm.
I am in agreement with you, Russell. I think the Cardinals definitely might have a little bit of I wouldn't say full on rebuilding to do, but it just seems like they only got Marvin Harrison and like Kyler Murray, and then it's just kind of everyone's just kind of there.
They
I
got a
don't know.
nice tight end.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. It's nothing. It's nothing that crazy either. I'm not gonna fucking hop on this guy's sack either. That he's like
Did
the
they draft a
best.
running back by chance?
Uh, don't think they did. Let's
Because isn't
see.
James Conner getting pretty old?
They did not. I mean, James Conner's still a touchdown machine, bro.
James
Yeah,
Conner's
but
still a
Within
touchdown
five, well,
machine.
yeah, within 5 yards, this guy, man, sometimes he surprises me how the fuck he gets in there. But he scores touchdowns, man. But it looks like they drafted pretty much all of Ohio State guys. I don't know why, but uh, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. But I think we're done with this team here. Nothing really special going on here. But now, Russell, we're getting into the meat and potatoes. Let's go
hell
to
yeah.
the Los
Let's go.
Angeles Chargers. 11 and
Let's go,
6,
Russ.
second in the
Let's
AFC
do it.
West. Top needs were tight end, wide receiver, defensive lineman, running back, and edge. So it looks like they got a running back from North Carolina. By the way, second best running back in that draft. They got a wide receiver, defensive tackle, edge, another wide receiver, tight end, guard, and then I don't know what is that. What does that stand for? I don't know what that is. And then cornerback, SAF,
What?
special teams
Safety.
players, safety. All right, safety from Clemson, so a little bit of defense there. What did you think, Russ?
Overall, I actually loved this draft. I really like Omari and Hampton a lot, especially with Najee Harris coming on board. I think that's a really nice backfield. Um, Another wide receiver I think is great. Chargers fans have been asking for more weapons for quite a long time. And I think with Mike Williams coming back and Lad McConkey, I think it was really great to pair with a potentially really nice wide receiver. QJ's kind of, we'll see about that guy. As of right now, I'm not pumped about him, but I really like it overall. Very happy.
All right, Miko,
Are you
Nice.
what do you
looking at
Where
think?
would you
draft
place him?
grades?
Where would you place him, Russ?
I kind of think they could win the division.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
damn.
Oh
Okay.
damn!
Well, someone's had some pretty good dreams.
Whoa! Whoa!
I
Whoa! Whoa!
I
Whoa!
think it's possible. I think the Chiefs are not going to win like 15 one-score games again. There's just no way. And the division has definitely gotten harder. Sean Payton is really he's a threat. His teams the Broncos are a threat. Jim Harbaugh is really setting up a kind of punchy in the mouth kind of offense and defense. And I don't know if the Chiefs are set up for that. They're really good though. They'll find a way. I
Mm-hmm.
could totally be wrong, but I have high hopes.
For sure. Well, I think the only grip I have about this is their offensive line situation.
Agreed.
I feel like the quarterback did get a couple of sacks that was, you know what I'm saying, offensive line based. I know the quarterback does like to hold the ball a little bit too long for you guys, so a lot of those sacks was on him, but getting the offensive tackle in the sixth round is kind of a reach for me. That's what I don't like about this. But
Keep in mind,
overall,
we
huh?
signed a guard in the offseason from the Philadelphia Eagles. So we have a
Oh,
new guard.
okay. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Signed a guard from the Eagles, huh? Okay.
Super Bowl
So
champs.
it's not Super Bowl champs. This team is
Absolutely
this
not.
No,
team
no,
is
no. The Eagles.
definitely I personally believe this team is definitely a playoff team. I think they're going to be number 2 in their division with the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Chiefs would be number 1.
Yep.
So this is definitely a playoff team because they will have a winning record. I do like the fact that you guys did bolster y'all the wide receiver room. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not going to rely on Lad McConkey that much this year. I hope.
That'll get them
So
more open.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe it'll get them more open. You're right.
Maybe
So
maybe a better running game too.
Maybe.
ooh,
I think
Maybe.
the
with
running game
the
Maybe.
with
got a lot
Omari and
better.
Hampton.
And
I
Najee.
like
I'm a
J.K.
big
Dobbins. I like Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I like that duo. I don't know why y'all keep fucking with it. So
I like it too,
I think.
but there's some
Yeah.
injury concern.
Yeah.
And I'm
J.K.
a
Dobbins
fan of
was like really
Najee,
good,
but
but The injury really
Yeah.
just kind of derailed a little bit of that run game.
Yeah.
So what do you guys
I
think? You guys got
personally,
playoff team? You got playoff team?
I'm putting
Yep.
this team as a playoff team.
I
If they're not number one in their division, they're going to have a really good record, and yeah, that's going to put them in the that wild card spot or whatnot. So
I would put them as contenders.
wow. I wouldn't go that far,
Yeah,
Russell.
playoff team's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, Russell. I think the Chargers
they're
definitely
not there
have
yet.
they're going in the right direction. I just think maybe we'll see how these defensive pieces kind of fit into everything. That's kind of what I'm scared about. That's what I've always been scared about with the Chargers. The defense just cannot hold back when some real firepower comes at them. You can't just
Yep.
rely on one superstar player as it was for Bosa or
Yeah,
the homie in the secondary. It's
Khalil.
just yeah. You got to have something, man. Like it's
I
just
personally like their defense, bro. They do get key sacks in crucial moments of the
yeah,
game.
but
That's what I did like about the
yeah,
Chargers.
but like even when they did that, they would still lose crucial games. Like
I would. Yeah,
it's just there's other plays that defense could have made if they had the right pieces set up that they could have won more games. I would say, but yeah, I think the Chargers are gonna be a really good playoff team. It's gonna be interesting to see what the AFC West is like because we're going into the team in that division,
Whoa,
the
whoa.
the Chiefs, baby,
The greatest team in
Chiefs,
the AFC West.
the
Let's go.
Chiefs,
Let's
the
start. Let's
team.
start with Russell on this. So in their draft, right, they drafted an offensive tackle, which they desperately needed. They needed a defensive tackle, which they got in the second round. They drafted an edge rusher. They drafted a corner. They drafted a wide receiver, and they drafted a linebacker as well as a running back. And they pretty much drafted in all of the rounds besides the six. So they got they got two draft picks in the third round, and they then draft in the sixth round. So their needs was an edge, a defensive tackle, a corner, as well as a running back and an offensive tackle. So Russ, since you're our, you know what I'm saying, resident AFC West guy, how do you feel about this?
I think they did a really nice job, and I hate to admit that, but I think tackle they needed pretty bad last year. I think they kind of, or the Super Bowl definitely exposed their
Yes, it
their
did.
line like big time. I don't the offense. I don't think they had very many needs besides uh, their O line. But looking at their schedule, it is kind of a tough schedule.
Oh,
So
you
I
seen it?
don't.
What's their schedule like?
So they got Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Colts, Eagles, Commanders, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers again, Bills, Cowboys, Jags, Giants, Titans.
Damn,
Damn.
that is a
Okay.
very yeah that is a
Yeah,
very tough
that
schedule.
is that's
That's a
hard.
tough. Yeah, that's where I kind of think maybe we can edge them out.
Well, if we're so if
But
we're solely
Okay.
basing it off of like how they drafted and if they improve where they wanted to improve,
I think
that's
they did
kind
a pretty nice job.
yeah. I would at least personally for me, I would probably obviously contenders. I don't know what do you
I
guys think?
I
it's hard to.
personally like their draft as well. Like you said, offensive tackle is just something they desperately needed. It kind of showed in the Super Bowl. Another desperate need they needed was the wide receiver spot, and they got that in the fourth round. I'm pretty sure they're also going to bolster that, you know what I'm saying, in the up and coming free agency market. So, and of course, Patrick Mahomes is still quarterback. So we know the referees are going to, you know what I'm saying, tend towards them. So I'm still going contenders, yo. They're still a Super Bowl contending team right now,
Russell?
which is sad because I'm sick of watching them.
I, it's hard not to put them in contender. I lean more towards playoff team, but it's I would say contender.
Yeah. I mean,
It's hard not to say
if
that.
there is a top three that should be in contenders, you got to have these two at least in there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
For now, yeah.
there's other teams that like are just they're so close, but like they always just lose the key games. But we'll get to those in a minute here. I mean, we still got a couple more to go here. We got the Indianapolis Colts, man. Shout out to Eric Montoya. And Will,
Montoya, baby, my Angels resident, baby. Let's go.
we're gonna see what they did here because I didn't really see what they did. And maybe in the comment section, Mr. Montoya can tell us what we got wrong because I have no idea what's going on with the Colts. But looks like they got an 8-9 last season, second in the AFC South still with an 8-9. That's pretty impressive. They had a need for a tight end, offensive line, linebacker, edge, and running back. Running back, I don't understand why if you have Jonathan
You
Taylor,
have
but
JT.
yeah, I don't know. They got tight end, edge, cornerback, offensive tackle, running back. They got a quarterback from Notre Dame, which don't know why they would do that, but whatever. Defensive tackle and linebacker. What do you guys think?
First off, for me, I love you, Eric Montoya. You know what I'm saying? But fuck the Colts. All right.
Oh,
I
damn.
don't watch them on TV. They fucking suck. You guys should have never let, you know what I'm saying, Peyton Manning retire. You guys should have never let Andrew Luck retired, all right? So the only thing I actually like about this draft is you guys' edge rusher. I did watch a lot of Ohio State games, and I do think I don't want to butcher his name, but JT Toimolau. Probably I apologize if I butchered your name, but that dude is nice. So that is the only thing I actually like about you guys' team. You guys didn't get an offensive, you know what I'm saying, an offensive guard or bolster that offensive line. So Jonathan Taylor's going to be running through a wall the whole goddamn time. I don't like this. I didn't like this draft at all. That's just me personally. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. So this team right here, for me at least, is going to be mediocre.
Wow. Damn. Well, what do you think, Russ?
I would kind of agree. I think they placed second in their division again. I do. I can't help but to kind of believe in Daniel Jones a little bit. If he is a starting QB and with a really nice run game, he could be better. Can you scroll down? Can I see the rest of
Yeah.
their picks? Tight end. I really like that tight end, Tyler Warren. I think he was even like ranked ahead of uh, Colson Loveland. Edge, I think, is pretty solid. Cornerback, OT, yeah. The QB kind of throws me off a little bit, but I guess if
Yep.
Anthony Richardson is he's, I'm sure he's a concern, and Daniel Jones is definitely a concern.
Yes,
I,
But
definitely.
I would say
Definitely.
Daniel Jones is definitely not the fix to it if Anthony
no,
Richardson goes down, but I don't know.
He's
I think
better than Anthony Richardson. That's all I know.
wow.
I I don't think
I
so.
I
don't
said it. Yeah,
America.
I'm going
I
on
don't know.
record right now. Daniel Jones is better than Anthony Richardson.
Wow.
The Colts need to start Daniel Jones.
Wow. Okay. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
Anthony
I
Richardson is garbage, yo.
I
He can
agree
throw
with
the
that.
ball. He's the Jamarcus Russell of the NFL right now. He can throw the ball 100 yards down the field, but he gets tired the next play. That don't make no damn sense.
okay. Okay. Let's be real though. Did you watch that? They had that guy running crazy, bro. You cannot expect that man not to be tired. Which, I mean, I get it. It's your job to be athletically fit for when you show up to the game, but
You are the quarterback of the goddamn league, yo. Even if you are tired, bro, you're supposed to fake it. You're supposed to say, "Fuck it,
fake it.
I'm handing this ball off. I don't care what play y'all call me. I'm handing this ball off to this goddamn running back. He's gonna run so I can get a fucking breath. That's what you're supposed to do." So he didn't do that.
Well, if Jonathan Taylor ain't
Therefore,
doing nothing and he knows he can get that first down, I mean, I'm running for it. But um, I don't know. I would have to agree with you. I think they're going to be mediocre this year again. It's just there's still so many things missing from this team that like it just affects them quite a bit. So I think they're going to be mediocre at best. But now going into a super mediocre team and possibly
yeah,
the worst franchise in American history. By the way, Micah Parsons, don't be afraid to put us on your podcast as well. We would love to have you. I love me some Micah Parsons. I love me some CD Lamb. The only one I really hate, even though I think is a really nice person, is your quarterback. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. We're going into the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas
yeah.
Cowboys, 7-10 last
So
season, third in the NFC East. Lots of needs. I think they addressed some of them, but not overall what they were kind of looking for. Wide receiver, running back, cornerback, linebacker, and defensive line. We got guard, edge, cornerback, running back, linebacker, offensive tackle, defensive tackle, another running back, and a defensive tackle from Maryland. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
So this is another team I fucking hate from the bottom of my fucking soul.
Okay,
All
well,
right, but I feel like they had a decent draft. The only
wow.
thing I wish they would have drafted was a wide receiver because CD Lamb is the only receiver I actually know on their team. So if they would have drafted another wide receiver to actually help, you know what I'm saying, compensate for him, it would have been dope. They do got a decent tight end, so you know what I'm saying, maybe you know what I'm saying, you could throw some shit for him. But they did get an offensive guard, which will definitely help their quarterback situation. And they did get two running backs, which we all know Ezekiel Elliott is garbage. So
Well, they got Williams from the Broncos, so that didn't help for 1 year. They
And
signed
they,
him to a
they
1 year deal.
traded they traded
oh,
Zeke.
they got Williams. First off, Jaden Blue, that dude is. I watched a couple Texas games. That dude can fly, yo. That you get that man the ball, he can definitely run.
Yeah, but can you trust that
So
offensive line to do the same as they did in Texas? Because that offensive
me
line in
personally,
Texas was good. I
me
don't know about the one
personally,
in Dallas.
maybe if you put that, there's packages for him. So if you, I feel like if you could put him in like some screen situations, that dude can bust for like a good 20, 25, 30 yard gains. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
let's see what Dak
I
Prescott
really,
does, bro. Because apparently that guy does whatever the fuck he wants. So
but I really do like Jaden Blue. I really do like this draft. I don't think they're gonna end in the way that they ended in 2024 season. I'm putting this team as a French playoff team. Sadly enough, I I hate the Cowboys and I hate saying this, but I feel like they will be a playoff team
in a
this year.
division with the Commanders and the Eagles.
Yes, that is a tough division as well. The NFC South is it NFC South or NFC East? My
NFC
bad.
East.
NFC East. NFC East is a tough division to play in. So
Russell?
whatever the record is three wild card spots in the NFC and the AFC. So I think they would take another one again.
Did they? If I'm not mistaken, they also drafted a quarterback, right?
They did not.
They did not draft a quarterback. No,
I don't know why I thought that. I did see PFF give him an A+, which I thought was kind of weird.
that was kind of
Uh,
weird.
I like drafting guard in the first round. I think that's a really smart idea. I like
Safe.
bolstering the defense and running backs. I don't I don't know if I give him an A+, but I think they actually did a pretty nice job. Now, are
I
they going to make
personally
the
would give him.
playoffs?
Yeah.
I do not think so. I think that
Maybe
division
there's
is
a
too tough.
wide receiver somewhere that they're going down like trying to get in free agency somewhere that we're not, you know what I'm saying, weary of. So,
Maybe.
but everything else they kind of covered all bases. And with Michael Parsons coming back, he's, you know what I'm saying, obviously going to be the sack master. So this team is looking nice.
Does he have a deal,
I have no
Michael
idea,
Parsons?
and I don't think he does yet. No,
I thought he did have a deal.
I don't think he has. I haven't heard anything yet. He, if I did, we would hear about it because he's going to be paid he's going to be the highest paid defensive player in the NFL, and I'm pretty sure we would have seen that.
And I think the only wide receiver they added in free agency was Paris Campbell so far.
All right, well,
Which
Russell,
I think Amari Cooper's still in there.
might be maybe. Where would you put them, Russell?
I'd say fringe playoff.
Okay. I was gonna say mediocre. I think there's a lot of things like I don't know what Dak Prescott's gonna do. I don't know if he's gonna get hurt by hitting his hand on another fucking helmet. I don't know if he's gonna try to run for 5 fucking yards and twist his ankle. I have no idea. I think he's. I'm not gonna say he's the problem, but I think it's starting to become close to a problem with Mr. Dak Prescott. By the way, nice person. By the way, never met you, but I think you're a nice person. But I think this team is built pretty good. I just think it's mostly on the offensive side that they're not really clicking. Which to defend Dak Prescott, there hasn't been a run game in a while, so I can't really blame it all on him. But I think he's going to start becoming a problem if they don't get some things fixed. But I think they could go off and win a couple playoff games.
I
Um,
forgot they got a new coach too.
yeah,
I think it was like they just elevated like an assistant coach.
that is correct. They like hiring internally instead of Deion Sanders.
That's what I think.
All right, going into another
Crazy.
promising little team here, which I don't know if Tua is going to be knocked out for most of it, but we got the Miami Dolphins, man. I didn't really see what they did either, to be honest. I was just looking forward to some of the other things that was going on, but let's see. We got 8 and 9, second in the AFC East. We needed an offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, safety, and tight end. Looks like they went defensive tackle, guard, defensive tackle, cornerback, safety. They got a running back, and they drafted quarterback Quentin Ewers and defensive tackle for the last pick. What are you guys
Yeah,
seeing? What are you
so
guys seeing?
this team right here, all I care about was the quarterback position. As you already mentioned, you know what I'm saying, we got concussion protocol guy, you know what I'm saying, Tua. He's been in concussion protocol the last 2 years, so it's starting to become a trend that he will be eventually hurt sometime in this season, which is sad to think about. So getting Quinn Ewers in the 7th round, I'm not too mad at. I think that's a decent backup for him. So they don't really have much. I know their needs was like, you know what I'm saying, safety, tackle, guard, linebacker. I personally didn't feel like that was like crazy needs for them. It was just really their quarterback situation for me, particularly the backup quarterback situation. So I think Quinn Ewers will be a dope quarterback for him. He could possibly be a starter on, you know what I'm saying, multiple teams. So I actually like this draft. They got a couple of defensive tackles, a couple offensive guards. Uh, I'm putting them as French playoff teams, me personally.
Okay, Russell.
I kind of like this draft too. Kind of go off of what Miko was saying with the issues with Tua. I probably would have liked to seen maybe a more bolstering of the offensive line, but they did draft a guard in round two, and they have defense is kind of in a sore spot for a little while. So I actually really like bolstering up the defense a little bit. I think they come second in their division, so I think they're definitely a playoff team if Tua stays healthy and if Tyreek comes back, which I think that there's been a lot of rumors about Tyreek, so we'll see. But overall, this draft I actually really like.
Hmm?
Well, here's the depth chart that they had for quarterback. So you are correct, Miko. It's kind of scary, especially with Tua going down and relying on Zach Wilson.
Yeah, that's not
So
happening.
yeah, so
Mhm.
that's a little scary. You are correct. Do I think Quinn Ewers is the answer to it? I I think he'll be a solid backup. I think if you need him to win some important games, he can probably be a toss up. I saw a couple of Texas games with him in it. It seemed like he was kind of in like deer in headlights with when it came to actual big name schools that he was facing. But I mean, he's still a solid quarterback that I saw. But other than that, I don't. I think that was one of the biggest issues they had. Everything else on this team I thought was pretty good. But yeah, drafting a guard in the second round wasn't a bad idea either. But I mean, we'll see what kind of happens. I don't know. I think they'll be second as well. But what do you guys think? I don't know if there'll be a fringe playoff team, but I don't know.
I'm
If
putting them
Tua's
as a
healthy,
playoff team.
playoff, yeah,
Playoff?
it's all on
Yeah.
Tua.
Yeah, it all
No,
really
French
relies.
playoff. French
Oh, French
playoff.
playoff,
Sorry.
French
Sorry.
playoff.
Sorry. Yeah. You tripping.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like I'm a mixed feeling about it. I think they could be a fringe playoff team, but then like if Tua goes down and they lose like three straight, it's like can I
Yeah.
really put my trust into that? But going
True.
on to some real contenders, I'll just put it up right here, right now, boys.
Oh my
Let's be
gosh.
Yeah.
real.
No,
Let's be
you're
fucking
tripping,
real.
bro. You're
Miko, please
tripping.
stop.
You're
Let's be
tripping.
fucking real with ourselves. I don't.
You're
I'm
fucking
not.
tripping.
The Eagles are not my favorite team, but you know, I mean, they get stuff done. They know how to draft. They know how to pay guys. They know how to
They're
work
not.
free agency. They know how to do it all. Okay, but let's
As
see.
much as I hate to say this, bro, the Cowboys and the Commanders will be a lot better this year. The Eagles are not. They might make the playoffs, but they're
Might?
not Super Bowl. They're not Super Bowl contenders this year, bro.
Wow.
They're
Uh,
taking a step back.
Okay. Well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion at the We Argue podcast here, Miko. So I'll just let you have the wrong one. But going
All
into it,
right.
they had a 14-3 record, first in the NFC East. Some of their top needs were safety, defensive lineman, cornerback, edge, and offensive lineman. Looks like they went linebacker, safety, defensive tackle, cornerback, linebacker. They got a center, they got a quarterback from Syracuse, and they got offensive tackle, edge. So it looks like they started defensive heavily. Then they got a couple of things for their offense, and then they went back to final pick with defense there. What do you guys think?
You go ahead, Russ.
I'm kind of on the fence about it. They did lose a lot in free agency, including their offensive coordinator. And I think they might have lost their defensive coordinator too, but definitely their offensive coordinator. And they did lose quite a bit of their line and their defense in free agency, which it kind of looks like they're trying to replace in the draft. I just don't know if it's going to be as good as it was last year. I'm kind of meh on it. I'd say they're a
Hmm.
playoff team. I don't know if they're a contender right now.
I feel you. I'm
They
kind
lost
of in
some
the
big
same boat with you,
pieces.
Russ. You said what?
They lost some big pieces.
They did lose some big pieces, and you are right. The offensive coordinator is a big piece of that offense. So, you know what I'm saying? We know they're going to have the tush push, but besides that, what other plays are they actually going to run? All right. So, you know what I'm saying? I do like the player I do like off of this draft was Drew Kendall, which is their center from Boston College. That is about the only thing because I know their center was good this year, but this guy right here is like he's 6'4", 308 pounds. This dude is fucking massive. So that tush push is still going to be relevant in this offense. But this will be a different team to look at as far as like names wise. Like I'm not gonna know any of these players on defense by the time the season starts. So that's why I'm putting this team as fringe playoff, me personally.
Whoa.
Well, I move them down to playoff team.
I could kind of see fringe playoff. It's a tough division. I could kind of see that.
Yeah, this is a tough division. I do like what Commanders actually did in the draft and you know what I'm saying during the off season. And I like what the Cowboys have done. And the Giants will not be as bad as people think.
Well, we're not there yet, Miko. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We still got one more team before we get to the Giants, but we got the Atlanta Falcons, man. The Atlanta Falcons. Let's go here. Let's see. Atlanta Falcons. Okay,
All
well,
right, so the
hold on.
oh
It's
you
not
wanna go?
loading.
My bad. All right, so the Atlanta Falcons, some of the needs that they needed was the edge rusher, a defensive tackle, a center, a safety, as well as a wide receiver. And in the draft, they for the first round they drafted a linebacker out of Georgia. They got an edge rusher out of Tennessee, a safety in Xavier Watts, which I actually like. They also got another safety for some fucking reason, which is Billy Bowman Jr. And they got an offensive tackle. So Jose, what do you feel about this draft?
Honestly, they got some of the. I personally feel they had the best edge rusher picks that you could have. I mean, they had two first round picks, so you can't really go wrong with it. But they got two of the best pass rushers you could get in the draft, which I mean, if it turns out how they want it to turn out or how they think it's going to turn out, that's pretty scary, man. If they're trying to get to the quarterback, these guys are the answer to it. I will agree with you, Miko. Though I don't know why they went double safety. I don't really see the need for that, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they felt they needed. I do like the offensive tackle pick. You do need to protect. I don't know if it's Kirk Cousins even there anymore, or it's gonna be Mr. What's his name? What's the quarterback's name? The rookie quarterback.
Michael Penix.
Michael
Phoenix.
Penix. Michael Penix. I don't know if it's gonna be him or not. But yeah, overall, if these guys turn out to be what they were in college, it's gonna be a scary pass rush, man. It's gonna be pretty scary if they live up to their hype. But as for me, I think they're still on the mediocre slash kind of getting to the playoff, but I would probably put them in mediocre.
Mm.
I'd do the same. Probably mediocre, on the line for fringe playoff team. I kind of like where they're going with defense. They for sure. I mean, they have one of the best running backs in the league. So if they can have like a just super stout defense and then run the clock with uh, Bijan Robinson, that could be a really nice recipe for success. I would agree. Mediocre on the fringe of fringe playoffs.
Hmm. I agree with both of you guys. I feel like offensive side of the ball, they're exactly where they need to be. They could have drafted an offensive lineman, but I mean, Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, they really didn't have too much trouble in the pocket, besides a couple of couple of plays here and there. But they did draft an offensive tackle in the seventh round, so I assume he's going to be a when a guy gets injured, he's going to be a plug-in type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Move around on different sides of the tackle side. So they definitely needed help on defensive side, which is what they kind of focused on. But one, two, three, four, five, just six draft picks in a one, two, three. Oh, just five. Excuse me, just only five draft picks. I'm not really sure exactly what they did in free agency either. I'm personally going to put them at. I will put them at mediocre.
The double first round, that was pretty clutch. I kind
Yeah,
of like that.
like I said, man, if those guys turn out to be how they were in college, it's going to be pretty scary for any offense trying to. I don't know. Let's see. Who did they?
Oh, they took my boy. Oh, they
Yeah, they took this.
Houston. That guy sucks.
They re-signed cornerback. Let's see. Signed Easton Stick. Re-signed. Signed tight end Teagan. Don't know who that is from Houston. They signed a kicker. They signed a safety from
Jesus
Carolina.
Christ.
Wide receiver Jamal Agnew signed that guy. They signed the tight end from the Panthers. They signed cornerback Mike Ford from the Browns. Defensive lineman from the Chargers.
Love that guy.
Re-signed, re-signed, re-signed. Signed cornerback Keith Taylor from the Chiefs. Linebacker from the Raiders. Leonard Floyd from the 49ers. And then just a bunch of re-signs. Looks like they got a
Gotcha.
lot of signees and a lot of re-signs, so maybe they didn't really need too much in this draft. So,
They definitely needed defense because teams are scoring on them pretty easily. So
all right, so we're all in agreement, mediocre.
mediocre it is.
All right. Going into what Miko wanted to start off with here,
Yes.
the New York Giants, baby. Definitely a roller coaster during the draft because everyone expected a certain someone to get picked here. But you know what? Things work in a different and mysterious way here, gentlemen. So 3-14
Mhm.
team, fourth in the NFC East. I'm not even gonna read the top needs. They need a lot. But going right into it, they did get possibly the best, if not one of the best, defensive players in this draft. Abdul Carter at number one. They got a quarterback in Jackson Dart, defensive tackle, running back, Cam Scadaboo. I don't know if you guys watched any Arizona games. This guy can freaking run through a fucking brick wall if he wanted. Offensive tackle, tight end, and cornerback. What did you guys think?
Yes. So this draft right here, I absolutely love.
Wow.
Abdul Carter, he will be a starter day one. I'm putting him in he might be the sack leader this year. That's me personally, all right? Abdul Carter would be the sack leader. You guys can quote it, bam, record it, all this shit, rewind, all that bullshit, right? Jackson Dart, don't really care for, but as long as he throws it to Malik Neighbors, I have no fucking questions with it. All right, I do like Jackson Dart. He played okay. I feel like in Ole Miss, I don't think he was better than Shador, but like I said, maybe you know what I'm saying. They probably called about Shador, and Dion told him, "Hell no, fuck off. We're not going to New York." And so that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So he had to get a quarterback. So they got Jackson Dart. As far as everybody else, I really don't know. Besides Cam Scatterbo, like Jose said, he will run through a brick wall for you. And they got Tyrone Tracy there, so that is a nice little nice little double-edged sword that they have there. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. So I personally like this draft. How about you, Russ?
I think they killed it as much as they could kill it. Who's it? Who's their? Do you know who their starting quarterback is right now? Is it
We're
Jameis?
about to find out right now.
It's going to be either Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson.
From right now, it
Right
looks
now,
like
it's
it's going to be
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. They actually already put Jackson Dart as third, but I think it's probably going to be Tommy DeVito, then Dart. But we
Nah,
just
bro.
have it right now.
They're not rolling with four quarterbacks, bro. They drafted Jackson Dart in the first round. He's going to move up.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's
It's
what they have
either
right now, buddy. I'm not saying that's how it's
Jameis
going to be,
Winston,
but
yeah, Jameis Winston or Russell Westbrook is either going to be cut.
Russell Westbrook.
One of those two is going to be cut
What,
by the
Russell Westbrook,
end of
the
preseason.
NBA player?
Russell Wilson, sorry,
I
my
was gonna
bad.
say
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
I
It's
was
a
gonna
do
say
say.
that shit.
It's
We
a
got
do
to
say.
refill.
Chill,
We got to
chill, chill. It's a do
refill.
say. It's a do say.
Russell
One of them
Westbrook.
will be cut by the end of preseason.
Oh yeah,
I think
that's
so
for
too.
sure. Yeah. Russell.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I didn't pay too much attention to Giants games last year because they were really bad, so
Yeah.
I didn't know what their needs were. But I think just player for player, they did a really nice job this year. Scadaboo, I like Scadaboo quite a lot.
We all love Scatterboo.
I think
Mr.
Jackson Dart was a good, learning under Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I think that's really smart. I would love to see Jameis start though. He's just fun.
Well, if you're trying to win, you're
Are
trying to
they
rack up
play?
a winning column. You can't do that.
That being said, I don't even think they're a fringe playoff team. I
Yeah.
think the division's way too tough. I think they're mediocre. Maybe even bottom 8.
I was gonna say it's sad to say because I think they did really good in this draft, but I think it's gonna take a little bit for it to click. I think it's gonna be after this season or towards the end of the season until everything kind of starts working out. So I was gonna put them in bottom 8 as well.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are disrespectful. Bottom 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to these teams, I don't think the Giants are.
You don't think the Giants are going to be better than the Bears or
No.
the
No.
Cardinals?
No.
Yes, they will.
I don't think so.
They're going to be a playoff team this year, bro. But all right,
Wow.
go ahead, put them in bottom 8. So you know what I'm saying,
Bro,
when the
don't
season starts and about
that
week
Henny
8 come
is
around, bro, I'm gonna
Well,
play you this fucking video so you and Russell can sit there and fucking feel sorry for yourself for putting the goddamn Giants this low.
well, you know what,
I'm
Miko?
pretty sure the Giants have the toughest schedule in the NFL too.
I just muted Miko so he can keep talking.
I'm pretty sure.
That Henny's kicking in. I can't with that.
Let me see. Let me look at their schedule because I thought they had the hardest one. They definitely have the hardest schedule.
What's their schedule?
I'm not gonna lie, they usually have the hardest schedule. As
All
bad as
right.
it is to say.
Dallas, Philadelphia,
Loss.
Washington,
Loss.
Green Bay,
Loss.
Kansas City,
Loss.
LA Chargers,
Loss.
Win.
Minnesota Vikings,
Win. That's a win.
San Francisco 49ers,
That's a loss.
Dallas again,
I think they'll win that one.
Philly,
I think they'll win the
Philly
second.
again,
That's a loss.
Washington again,
That's a loss.
Chicago Bears,
That's a loss.
Denver Broncos,
That's a loss. That's 11.
Detroit Lions, Las Vegas Raiders,
That's a win.
New England Patriots,
That's a loss.
New Orleans Saints.
That's a win. So they lost 13 games, Miko. You
All
not
right, so
saying
maybe they
no,
go.
yeah.
All right,
Let's
so
be
maybe
real.
they're mediocre. They're
No,
mediocre. They're
absolutely
mediocre.
not.
No,
Let's put them in
Dude,
mediocre,
that's
bro.
13
Let's just put them in
fucking
mediocre.
games. Holy shit.
they're bottom 8 for sure.
Yeah, bro. There's no way.
Bottom.
They gave him the
We know who the bottom. All right.
hell
As much
schedule.
as I love what they did, bottom 8.
It's because like you said, Miko. It's that division, dude. They face them so often, and that division it's pretty good now. Like it used to be the laughing stock. Now it's a good division.
The Giants are going to be nice this year, yo.
Well,
Watch.
well, you know what? You know who else is going to be somewhat nice, Miko? The Jacksonville Jaguars, because they
Duval.
they yeah They 4-13 record, third in AFC South. Some of the needs were defensive lineman, cornerback,
Hold
safety.
on, they were 4-13, but they were third in their
Yeah,
division.
the AFC South sucked.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out to the Panthers, yo.
Yeah, shout out to Travis Hunter here, second overall pick. That's right. We got third round. We got cornerback, guard, running back, linebacker, safety. They got a center and a running back from Syracuse on the final pick. I'll start off this one because Travis Hunter's my boy, by the way. Would love to have you on the podcast, Travis. I don't know about your girl though, but that's just a toss up. If you love her, you love her. If you love her, you love her. You know, we're not here to judge, but it is what it is. But I think they did a pretty good job. Could have the Jacksonville Jaguars have created the Colorado danger that they had in over there in college? Yeah, they could have, but obviously maybe like Miko said, maybe Prime was like, I don't want my son anywhere near Jacksonville. I don't want him anywhere near that. So we're just gonna go ahead and not do that. But I think they did pretty good, man. I think they addressed a lot of the needs that they have. I'm still on the fence about Mr. Trevor Lawrence. I was very high on him when he came into the league, but I don't know, man. They got to get this man some help. They got to get him something, and I think they address a couple of those help needed with this draft. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so for me, I do like this draft. They defensively wise, they definitely needed help. So they drafted 5 defensive players. They drafted 2 corners, which in the first and third round. Then they drafted a fourth and a sixth round linebacker. So they definitely needed help on the defensive side, and they went double up on 2 different positions. That it's kind of weird, but I'm kind of with it because they did need help on both of those. They also drafted a guard, which is Wyatt Millum out of West Virginia. So this team, I'm actually liking this draft. I don't see nothing crazy with it. I would give them a. I'm still going to give them a mediocre, just because I don't like their team like that. But I personally believe this draft was pretty good, pretty solid.
I think it's kind of mid. I
Wow.
for some I like Travis Hunter. I think that's huge. Um, the rest of this, I kind of wish they went for another wide receiver because their wide receiver room's a little. It's not very deep. Besides Travis Hunter and I think it's Brian Thomas.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Brian
I
Thomas
think you're right.
Jr. Like
I think you're
outside
right.
of those two guys, there's hard. I mean, Gabe Davis, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington. There's just not much there. So I kind of, and they lost a tight end. So I kind of want to have like to see more offensive playmakers here, but they also, I think they need O line work, which I think they addressed a little bit in the draft. But I'm kind of on the fence with them. Just one, Trevor Lawrence. I, I don't know about him yet. And then this new coach and GM tandem, I'm a little on the fence with as well. I think they're bottom 8.
You're not okay with Gabe Davis? I like Gabe Davis. He's
I
Okay.
cool.
like Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Gabe Davis was okay when he was in Buffalo, buddy. All right.
Right now, he's not even a starter.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad.
He's a backup.
He's behind Brian Thomas on the other side as an
He's
X.
behind Diami Brown, or is it Diami Brown? Yeah.
Yeah, he is Brian
Oh no,
Thompson
it's Brian
Jr.
Thomas. Yeah.
And they already started Travis Hunter on this, so
Yeah. And then
He's
who
third.
Brenton?
He's the
Like who?
Z, just so you know. So just so you know, Travis Hunter will only be doing intermediate to short routes in that wide receiver position.
well, we'll see, man. I don't know what they got planned for the kid, but hopefully it
That means
works
they
out
got
well.
packages for him. That means he's going to be special teams. He will play defense most of the time because he's
Absolutely.
listed as a fucking cornerback.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he'll
True.
play. He'll have some wide receiver packages. That's what they're going to do with him.
But as you rank Miko, I'm also going to agree with Mr. Russell here. I think they're going to be bottom 8.
Who's in
You
their
guys are
division?
disrespectful.
I don't even know if it matters of division anymore here, Russ.
Yeah,
I think the
that's
Jaguars
true.
just got a lot of they got a lot of work to do, man, from when they were They went into Gillette Stadium and tried to beat Tom Brady that one year. What do you think, Miko?
Oh, they got the Texans, the Colts, and the Titans. Yeah, bottom 8.
Bottom, Miko?
We can put them bottom. Fuck it. Let's put them bottom.
And now for another bottom team that can't figure a lot of things out. The New York Jets, baby. The New York Jets. Oh, man. If there ever was a team that I never really want to talk about. 5-12, third in the AFC East. Offensive line, wide receiver, tight end, safety, and defensive line were the top needs here, gentlemen. They went offensive tackle, tight end, cornerback, wide receiver, safety, linebacker, and edge rusher. So it looks like they addressed a lot more of the kind of a mix, but a little bit more on the defensive side, which I mean that's kind of what they were known for last season. So what did you guys think about the Jets draft here?
I don't
You can
know.
go first, Russ.
This is kind of the position wise. I think they addressed a lot, but that team, I'm super on the fence
Who's their
with
quarterback?
their
I don't
new.
even know who.
I don't. Is it guy from Pittsburgh?
I don't even know,
I
buddy.
don't even know who the fuck their quarterback is.
Oh, it's
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields. Justin Fields. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Tyrod. Yeah, Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor.
Hey, Tyrod, he's birthed a lot of beautiful careers, so this might be a turnaround for Justin Fields, and he played pretty good last year. I thought.
I don't know,
Yeah, I
man.
don't.
It's
This
tough.
is one of those teams where like their roster's really good, but they just can't get it together.
Yeah,
But I think they had a good. I think they drafted good players. They
absolutely.
drafted good positions, but I think they're still bottom 8.
Miko.
Yeah, I think they're still bottom 8 too. I do like
It's
their
kind of
main
hard
player. I
saying that,
do.
bro. Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Justin Fields somewhat on the same
Alan
team.
Lazard.
It's kind of like it's hard to say with the names that are on this list that like us for us to say that. But go ahead, Miko.
I do like the only pick I do like that they did in the draft was Malachi Moore out of Alabama, which is their safety. I think he played really well in Alabama, and I think he's going to make a big impact on his team if they do start him. If not, he'll be a really good special teams player. But other than that, like you said, their quarterback situation is rough. Brees Hall constantly gets injured. This is a really tough team to grade. Uh, yeah, it's going to be bottom 8 for me too.
Also, that division did get better, much more better. So it's gonna be kind of hard to
Besides
compete
the
in there.
Patriots, Patriots still suck. Just so you know.
Well, we'll see, man. In Drake
He's
May we
waiting.
trust. It's literally Drake May at this point. We kind of tailor towards him. So if he doesn't make it work, then we're getting rid of that fucking loser. But going into an actual good team, even though they kind of shit the bed a little bit, we got the Detroit Lions, fellas. We got the
We
Detroit.
didn't shit the bed, yo. They made one bad play. One bad
That's
play.
shitting the bed.
Okay, that is shitting the bed. You're right.
Yeah,
But they made one bad play, and that cost them the whole goddamn Super Bowl possibility.
exactly. That's literally shit. But all right, Detroit Lions 15-2, first in the AFC North over the Vikings. Um, just thought I'd throw that in. Top needs we had edge, offensive line, safety, defensive lineman, wide receiver. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson got injured, so that was another big part. I think they had the most injuries last season for the team, so that kind of sucked for the Detroit Lions because they had a lot of stuff. But just going into their picks here, they got a defensive tackle from Ohio State. That defense from Ohio State was really good, and I don't know if you guys caught a couple of those games, but really good. They got a guard, wide receiver, another guard, edge from Boise State, safety from Georgia, and a wide receiver from Georgia. Overall, I think the Lions did a really good job. I think they're trying to address some pieces that did get injured last season. So they're trying to make sure that they can cover for them just in case it happens again. So I think if
Mm-hmm.
they're doing like a plug and replace, I think they did a pretty good job at what they're trying to accomplish. What do you guys think?
Yes. I feel like this was a really good draft for them. So obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is their number one receiver, but they did draft Isaac Tesla.
Yep.
Isaac. I assume I'm saying your name right. Sorry if I am. If I'm not. But Isaac Tesla, I think he's going to be a really good wide receiver for this team. I know he didn't play many snaps last year, so the team is kind of going out on a limb with seeing what he can actually do production wise. But I think personally he'll be a nice fit as a what I'm saying wide receiver number 2 for this team. They also got an offensive guard in the second round, so this is a guy you can also plug and play whenever somebody gets hurt of some sort. So this team is, I think this is really set to be a really good team. Um, First off, they didn't. I know their needs say defensive tackle, edge, offensive guard, and wide receiver and center. They really didn't need much in the draft. They were just drafting just off of just bolstering their depth chart. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to get younger. So I still think this team is a Super Bowl contender. And yeah, that's my take on it.
Russell.
I would agree. I think last year was like I feel like they were on like some of their third string like defensive players. So I
Yes.
like adding depth on both sides. I think it's really smart. They didn't have very many holes to begin with. Even yeah, two guards, wide receiver, D tackle. I like all of it. I would say they're contenders for sure.
I would agree with you guys. I think it's kind of hard to take them out of the contenders just because, I mean, that team is like, it's scary to go against them every weekend. So,
That team is set.
yeah,
Yes.
it's
Their
tough.
coaching is well, they're well coached. They have a great quarterback in Jared Goff who doesn't make many mistakes.
And when
And
he
their
does, it's kind
defense,
of shocking. But
yeah, and their defense somehow knows how to make turnovers. So they're set to be a great team this year.
I am kind of curious because they lost their offensive coordinator. And he was really good. I'm
yeah,
kind of curious to see what they look like.
he is the head coach for a team now, isn't
Ben
he?
Johnson is the Bears.
The Bears head coach.
The
Yep,
Bears.
the
Yes.
Bears.
The
Which is
Bears.
why they're catering to Mr. Cable Williams, baby.
The
All
Bears.
right, going on to shout out to Mr. Hayden D. Pedro. We got the
Shout
Green Bay
out to
Packers.
Hayden. Boo! They suck.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started here. I didn't really like the Green Bay Packers draft.
I'll be
I
I'll be back in 1 second.
Go ahead, buddy. You are
Freaking
good.
continue.
No, don't even worry about it. Let's see. Can I? Let's see. I'll just disable his video real quick. All right. But yeah, Miko, I didn't really like it. 11-6. They're third in the NFC North. I don't know. It's just some of these picks just seem forced. I don't. I don't know. It's like weird. Like I just had like when I just kind of looked at it, I was like, I don't know if this was like the best choice for this team. But I mean, the Texas guy was good. I seen him a couple times, but I don't know. It just did it make me happy for that team? Probably not. They had offensive tackle, another wide receiver from TCU, two edge rushers, defensive tackle, and then a cornerback and an offensive lineman. I mean, it's kind of just like a repeat of what a lot of the other people were doing, but I just think they could have done a little bit better. I understand the draft wasn't like as talent loaded as other drafts, but I don't know. I just think they could have done it a little bit better. What do you think?
I feel you. I definitely feel you. I know they, like you said, they did draft Matthew Golden in the first round. That motherfucker is fast as hell. You know what I'm saying? He does run a sub 4.3,
Yep.
but we all know what happens in Green Bay in December, November, December, January, right? The snow comes in, makes you a lot slower. You know what I'm saying? So obviously you're not running a 4.3 in Green Bay in December, November. So the other wide receiver they drafted, I personally think will be a lot better, which is Savion Williams. I think he's going to be a great impact player right off the gate. Uh, they did draft another edge rusher. They did draft an offensive tackle, which is Anthony Belton. Those are nice additions to the team. And I think this team is also a Super Bowl contender.
Wow.
Me personally. Yeah, I know.
Um, I personally wouldn't go that far, but I think they're definitely a playoff team. a Super Bowl contender is kind of like I don't know. It just
Shout
kind of
out to shout out to Hayden and you know what I'm saying, Matt Allen. I know y'all picked some shitty ass teams, but this team this year will be nice. I do like you guys' team this year.
well. Can I ask you something, Nico? Even with this draft, does it not seem to you like this team is just the same team that kind of left off last season? Like,
They
do you think
so
these people would?
depth chart wise, they like you said, Christian Watson is injury prone, so I think he will miss you know what I'm saying, a good portion of the season coming up, which is why they drafted two wide receivers in here. They did go with the speedy receiver and Matthew Golden, who's also, you know, I think he's under 6 foot. Let me check right quick. Yeah, he's 5'11", whereas Sevion Williams is 6'4", 222 pounds. So they got a bigger receiver, bigger target for Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? So this is looking real nice for them. I like what they did in the draft with their receivers.
Okay. I just like kind of I just look at it and I'm just like, well, it's just kind of a spitting image of what they had last year, and it's just now they just have someone to replace in case the other person goes down.
Nah, this is going to be a different team, a slightly different team, because they already made the playoffs last year. So they just needed to just tweak a couple things, which is what I feel like they did.
Yeah, Mr. Perkio.
Can you? I missed the draft picks.
Oh yeah.
Can you?
We had a wide receiver, offensive tackle, another wide receiver, back-to-back edge rushers, defensive tackle, cornerback, and offensive lineman.
Who's they got Matthew Golden? Oh yeah,
They did.
I think they did what Green Bay fans have wanted them to do for a really long time, drafting a first round wide receiver.
Okay.
Um, I don't know, kind of meh on their draft. Besides Matthew Golden, I didn't really know what needs they really needed from
Uh,
last year. They were just pretty solid all around.
cornerback, wide receiver, edge, defensive lineman, and offensive lineman.
Yeah, I kind of feel like those are maybe more depth pieces than potential starters because they're pretty solid.
I agree.
Definitely a playoff team, I would say. I don't know if they're quite contender, but a very good football team, I think.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Russ. Sorry, Miko, and sorry for Matt, Allen, and Mr. Hayden Pedro, but I just think there's still just something else that's missing from this team that just I don't know. It's just I just can't see them as a contender yet. I think they're going to be a very scary playoff team. Like if you have to go against the Green Bay Packers, you should be afraid to go against them. But I think they could win it all? Probably not. But that's just me. But
I would agree.
going on to a team that won't win anything, we got the Carolina Panthers, ladies and gentlemen.
Disrespect.
Obviously they are right now the not laughing stock, but I would say close to it. I mean, giving up all the picks and everything that the Bears got in this draft for the Bryce Young pick. Um, I don't know, man. It's a lot to digest here. I don't 5-12, third in the NFC East, which kind of surprised me that they weren't last. But this was a hard team to watch, man. I don't. They got it clicking a little bit towards the end, so it was a little exciting. But man, it was rough. But I do. If we're going based off their draft, though, I love their first round pick, man. This guy from Arizona, he's a fucking monster. This guy is going to be pretty fucking good if Mr. Bryce Young can see over his offensive lineman to throw the fucking ball,
Which he can.
which he can't. But yeah, so they went back to back edge rushers, typical thing that we've been seeing in this draft. They did get Mr. Trevor Etienne, running back, safety from Ohio, defensive tackle, tight end, and Miko's top wide receiver from Colorado,
Jimmy Moore,
Jimmy
baby.
Horn Jr., man. Um, we'll see how it turns out. It looks like they wanted to add a little bit more weapons to Mr. Bryce Young's arsenal. It's at least for me, it's gonna depend on Mr. Bryce Young, man. I don't know. He can click good, and then sometimes he can't. I don't know. Maybe this year will be different now that he has like some studs on the field, but at least for me, this team's still bottom eight. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I still think this team is bottom eight. Like you said, they did draft, you know what I'm saying, McMillan. really big wide receiver. I think he will be a dope addition to the team, especially defensive or not defensively, blocking wise. When you know what I'm saying, they trying to do the run game shit. But this team is still garbage. They did draft 2 edge rushers. I have no idea who they had on the defense last year or
Can't
so.
tell you.
I did not watch any Carolina Panthers games. Sorry, everybody in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? North Carolina to be exact. Sorry, everybody out there. I did not watch none of the Panthers games last year. Besides the one they played against the Chiefs, just because that was the only one thing on TV.
Wow.
So I know, right? So they
Wasn't
drafted
it like
2
the one
edge
start?
rushers, a safety, and a defensive tackle for the defense. I do know they need to bolster their defense because they can't stop shit, especially last year. And they was on the field a lot, so I know they were tired, especially in that Florida heat. Sorry, I said Florida, huh? North Carolina heat out there
Bro,
in the
you need to
South.
stop
So
drinking that shit right now.
hey, chill, 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 chill. So I'm putting this team as a bottom 8 still. I personally do not like their quarterback play. I wish they would have drafted Shador, but they didn't. So
Wow.
that's where I'm at.
Wow.
Mr. Perkio, what do you got to say about
Uh,
this?
I'm kind of on the same page. I like that they're building around Bryce Young. I think he's really talented and could be really good, but he's just in a really tough spot. I think after Andy Dalton started a little bit last year when Bryce came back, he kind of lit up. So something happened there. I really like. They got Hunter Renfro in free agency, which I like too.
They did.
I like the edges. I think they have good picks. Like it, they're building this the right way. But looking at their schedule, I have at best 6 wins,
Hmm.
and I don't think one off season is going to fix them. I'd put them bottom 8.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Well, I think the Carolina Panthers got some work to do. Don't be afraid to hit us up for a sponsorship, though, Carolina. We would be glad to help you guys out. We're
Ooh,
the best in the game. We know what we're doing. We know what we're
absolutely
talking
not.
about. I take checks.
Do not call us.
Bitcoin. I take everything, baby.
Do not
Legal.
call us. Do
uh,
not call us,
but you know who we
Carolina.
do
All
want
right.
to call us, Miko? It's the New England Patriots, and man, do
All
we
right.
have a draft, baby?
Some bullshit. All right. Let me take this over.
All right.
Right.
Oh,
So I got you, right? So the needs of the goddamn New England Patriots, right? They needed an offensive tackle, they needed a wide receiver, a running back, a safety, and an edge. So in the draft, they got an offensive tackle out of LSU, which is Will Campbell, which I think would be dope as a perfectly plug-in guy. They got a running back, Trayvon Henderson. They got Kyle Williams, which is a wide receiver out of Washington. They also got a center, Jared Wilson out of Georgia. They got a safety out of California. They got a defensive tackle out of Florida State. They got an edge rusher in Braden Swinson out of LSU. They got a what is a PK? What
kicker.
is a PK?
Where do you
A
see
punt
PK?
kicker?
I think it's a kicker. It says kicker on here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. His name is Andres Borregales. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but you're out of Miami. They got an offensive tackle, Marcus Bryant out of Missouri. They got uh what is the LS?
I'm
Long
not gonna lie.
snapper.
Long
They got a
snapper.
long
Long
snapper out of
snapper is
Julian
crazy.
Ashley. They got a long snapper and they got a cornerback out of Memphis, which is Kobe Minor. So, Jose, how do you feel about this draft?
Well, Miko, I'm glad you decided to let me talk now because I think this is definitely a good draft. It's not a great draft, but I think it's going to address some things that need for a day one addressal because I think if we could just get Drake May a little time, man, just something. We need to give. I don't even know the last time I seen my quarterback have any time to throw the fucking football. But if I can give him anything, man, it's gonna be that protection. I think it was a good draft to address some things right now. Will it work for the long run? I think some of these picks will. I really like the running back from Ohio State. He was second to the guy that they took before, but this was like a two-headed slash kind of Detroit Lion-esque kind of monster. If you guys watch some Ohio State games, definitely love the offensive tackle and first round pick. definitely need something. And you know how I always say, man, we need wide receivers. Bring all the wide receivers we can, man. It's hard out here, and we got a couple of wide receivers in there now. But overall, what I think my team's gonna be is sorry Patriots fans everywhere. I'm in agreement with you. I still think we're mediocre, and I know that kind of sucks to say, but I just don't see us as a playoff team. It's just it's hard out here, man. It's hard out here, but I'm gonna put us in mediocre.
I feel you. So I feel like this team, they did pretty decent in the draft, like you said. I do like the offensive tackle to help out Drake May in the running game. I do like Kyle Williams' pick. However, he is on the shorter side and he does run a 4.4, which is slow. I feel like as a 5'11 wide receiver. Um, for some reason, y'all drafted a long snapper.
We needed
I have
that.
no idea what
We
that was
needed it.
about.
We don't have a long
I
snapper.
guess y'all needed that. I
Why
didn't know
pay?
y'all
Why
need to
pay a
waste
guy in
the
free
draft
agency
pick
when I
on
can
it.
get this guy right now?
Right?
Minimum
Apparently,
product.
you
Minimum
fucking
product.
wasted draft pick on a guy, right? You could have just
Bro, we
got
had
him in.
bro. Out of
You
everyone,
could
we've had
have
the most
undrafted.
draft picks.
There is a shitload of
Miko,
undrafted free
bro,
agents in the goddamn shit
we
right
had the
now.
most
You
draft
guys
picks so
decided to
far.
draft. This is the dumb. That was a dumb. That's horrible right there.
Well,
But
when he's snapping long, bro, and you don't have a long snapper, and your guy fucks up, hey, don't come crying to me, buddy, with the little Vikings.
so I do like what the Patriots are doing. I know you guys do got Josh McDaniels back as you guys' offensive
And
coordinator.
hey, you better
So
stay, fucking buddy. Don't fucking leave no more. Every time we leave, it fucking goes to fucking shit.
it does. So now he's back. I
Mike
think you
Patricia,
guys,
we
you know
need
what I'm
you
saying,
back
will
too.
find something. Nah, he's not coming back. So I'm personally putting this team as a fringe playoff team. I know I also have the Dolphins up there as a fringe playoff team. I think they're going to be right there with them record
Wow.
wise. So that's what I feel
I
like. How about
appreciate
you,
the
Russ?
faith, man. I appreciate the faith.
Shut up. Nobody cares.
I
Wow.
appreciate it.
I really like this draft. I really like their free agency. This kind of really screams Mike Vrabel to me, building from the trenches with two offensive tackles, and they signed one in free agency and a center, and a running back. The running backs actually look pretty good with Ramondre. I'm kind of on the fence about, but
Yeah, that guy's
Trayvon
third string
Henderson
now, bro.
and Trayvon and Antonio Gibson. That's not bad. And he really loves throwing the ball and then bolstering up defense. I think overall they had a really, really nice offseason. I don't think they're fringe playoff quite yet, but that would not it would not surprise me if they were. I'd put them in mediocre for now,
Okay.
but they could absolutely be fringe playoff.
Sorry. Sorry.
It
Sorry.
could, Mike Vrabel, he's good.
He's got some work to do, but I think he's on the right path. I just think
Yeah.
this draft is just was not talent heavy as other drafts. Like other
Yeah.
drafts, you kind of see like you could see it. This draft's kind of like whatever. But going into another great little team here, part ownership here, fellas. Don't forget, this is Tom Brady. The Las Vegas Raiders, another funny team that likes to leave people on the board. Maybe even people get people's hopes up. But we got the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know, man. They addressed the biggest need because they were last in rushing, so they got a running back. But I don't know if it's gonna work out without an offensive line. I don't know how they expect it to work, but whatever. I mean, Pete Carroll's there. So we'll see what he has plans, what he figures out. But
Yeah.
going into it, they got obviously the best running back in the draft, Shanti Genti. They got wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line, offensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive tackle, another wide receiver. They got a quarterback, which is that quarterback looks like he got picked before Shador, so that's kind of stupid. Um, Cody Lindbergh from linebacker from Minnesota. I think they did pretty good, but the biggest question mark still has question marks. I don't know if you guys kind of get my drift, but like the biggest thing was rushing. But yeah, you drafted some offensive linemen, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work out, man. I just don't see Genty popping off this season with what the Raiders have. But I would put him at bottom 8 still.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So they answered a couple of questions, but I feel like their main questions, such as like quarterback, which is not on here for some reason, as well as uh their safety position, they didn't really answer that much. So definitely still have some questions defensive wise. Once that ball gets in the air, it's still going to be, you know what I'm saying? It's still going to be a 50-50 ball. Like they don't really have much corners or much safeties to actually go and get those type of balls. I'm still putting this team as the bottom 8. I think they'll be the worst in their division still between them or the Broncos. So bottom 8 for me.
I would
So,
agree. I think Ashton Gentry. I mean, I'm not looking forward to having to play that guy twice a year. I think he's really, really good. And Pete Carroll, I think, is going to scheme up a lot around him. But the rest of the roster, I don't know. I mean, their number one wide receiver is going to be Jacoby Myers, and their number two is going to be a rookie. I'm just kind of on the fence. Not that it couldn't work, but that division's really tough. Three other really good defenses in that division. So I think step in the right direction, but I would still put them bottom 8. Like probably the best team in that bottom 8 though.
wow, I think Miko would probably tell you the Giants are, but hey, who am I to start drama, huh? Who am I to start the drama?
Oh
But
wow.
yeah, come on, Miko. You know you would say the Giants are the best team out of all these teams right here.
Yes,
You
they
see,
are.
good. See, what did I tell you? See, it's like I can read this guy's fucking
Absolutely
mind,
is.
dude. But
Absolutely.
going into another interesting team that a lot of people didn't really see coming last season, we got the Rams, man. The Rams definitely kind of surprised a couple of us back, but they got first in the NFC West, 10-7. Couple of needs: linebacker, cornerback, offensive line, tight end, wide receiver. They didn't have a first round pick, so that was kind of weird, but I think they traded it away. But then the round two, they got a tight end, Terrence Ferguson, nice tight end from Oregon. They went edge, running back, defensive tackle, linebacker, and then wide receiver from Pitt. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Yeah. Um, I'm kind of weird about this. I don't think they actually answered any of their questions. My biggest question for them was the linebacker situation as well as their cornerbacks. I know it's not listed on here, or yeah, it is. It said their needs was a cornerback and they never got one. So they did get a linebacker in the 5th round, which is Chris Paul Jr. I'm not sure if he has any relations to Chris Paul Sr., the basketball player, but you know what I'm saying? Here we are. So yeah, their corner position is a really, really, really big position for me because they weren't able to stop nothing as soon as the ball got in the air. So this draft right here, I feel like they didn't do well. I'm not sure what they're going to do in free agency. I hope they got, you know what I'm saying, some other plans going on. But as far as this draft, this is looking like a mediocre team for me.
They are not related to Miko, by the way. I just pulled this up. Go ahead, Russ.
You want it up.
As far as draft goes, I think it's kind of mid. They were already a pretty good team. I didn't think they had a lot of big needs. Um, I like them drafting edge and running back. But their free agency is what kind of stuck out to me with Puna Ford and Devontae Adams. So I think they're a 100% a playoff team,
Ugh.
and yeah, there's not much more than
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say it's
Draft was solid, but
yeah. I think the Rams just kind of did kind of what some other teams did. It's just like, okay, we just need you on the depth chart just in case this guy goes down, in a sense.
yeah,
But what do you think, Miko? Playoff team?
I'm personally on a mediocre side. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year.
they got
Wow.
Devontae Adams.
I think the Seahawks would
Devontae.
be better in their division. And I don't think there's going to be 3 teams coming out of that division.
You're right. That Henny did get to you.
Why? That is a hot take.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll get to the Seahawks
You
right
guys
now.
are wild,
That is
bro. Y'all
hot
disrespected it.
take.
All right, let's go.
All right, so we got the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what these guys picked. Let's see,
I
12 and
think they're like
5.
the most.
Go ahead,
I want to
Russ.
say they're the most successful first round drafters in NFL history.
Are they?
Ooh.
Let's see.
Okay,
Offensive
so their
line.
needs was
Go ahead.
you okay if I talk this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so their needs was defensive tackle, cornerback, offensive guard, edge rusher, as well as a receiver. So for the first round, they got a safety, Malachi Starks, who's going to be a plug-in starter, obviously out of Georgia. They got an edge rusher, Mike Green out of Marshall. They got an offensive tackle, which is Emory Jones Jr. out of LSU. They have a linebacker, Teddy Buchanan out of California. They got an offensive tackle, Carson Vincent. They got a cornerback, Bilal Cohn. They have a PK. What is a PK?
It's a kicker.
Punt kicker.
Punt kicker, Tyler. Oh my gosh. I hate teams that draft fucking kickers. I don't fucking know why.
Because they
They
need
got a
one.
wide receiver, LeJontay Wester out of Colorado. Shout out to Colorado, baby. They got a defensive tackle, Anais Peebles. Excuse me if I fucked up your name. They got a cornerback, Robert Longerbeam out of Rutgers. And they got an offensive guard, Garrett Dellinger out of LSU. Jesus, these names is crazy. All right,
Yo, longer
so
beam is crazy.
Longerbeam is crazy.
Hey, shout out
All
to you,
right.
longer beam, for us.
Shout out to you, but yeah, that's a crazy name, bro. But you got to come on the pod, you know what I'm saying? Come on the podcast at least one of these times, you know what I'm saying? Explain how you got that name. All right. So,
What? All right, go.
out of this draft though, my favorite player was Teddy Buchanan out of California. I think he's going to be a really dope plug-in player in the linebacker position. But besides that, I don't really know what's going on with this draft right here. A lot of these players is just depth chart players because they pretty much have everything sealed up. I don't think much is happening free agency wise out in Baltimore. So I'm putting this still as a playoff, maybe Super Bowl contender. I'm going playoff. I still don't believe in the quarterback position as much as everybody else do. So I'm still going playoff team, not necessarily contender just yet, but they're close. They're knocking on the door.
Well, Russ, I'm gonna go ahead because I definitely agree with Miko. So it sounds like you have a different take. So
That's
I
nuts.
am also on the same boat. Lamar Jackson, bro. I was a non-believer. You made me into a believer, and then you turned me back into a non-believer, man. What the fuck are you doing in the playoffs, bro? You are too great to lose to some of these guys in the way you do. And I'm looking dead at the camera. Lamar Jackson, please come on the podcast. We'd love to have you. But I just cannot trust you in some of these important moments, man. There's just something that happens to you, and you're way too talented to be doing those kind of things. But we said it before. Hey, he needs a run game. We need to put some pressure off of Lamar Jackson. All right, they got you Derrick Henry. Nothing. And I could, and you know what? Also, I will blame the coach on that too, because what the fuck are we putting Derrick Henry on the bench for when he could be out there running this time down? What the fuck are we doing? But other than that, I think they had an okay draft. Once again, it's just one of those things where they're just grabbing some depth chart players. They're not really answering anything that they really need because they don't really need it right now. So it's just kind of like, let's just build our depth chart. So that's kind of how I see it.
I'm in disbelief right now.
Okay.
I think if there's an award for the best names in an NFL draft, the Ravens definitely got it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that.
I like this draft. I like who's their first round pick?
It
Malachi
was
Starks out of
Malachi
Georgia,
Yeah,
Starks.
the
Yep.
safety.
that was someone the Chargers had in a mock draft. And Miko and I watched some highlights of. I was pretty impressed.
I was too.
This
Yes.
kid's really good.
Georgia's was known for defense.
Um, so already good defense just gets better, and then adding depth at offensive tackle and guard, I really like. That's a real John Harbaugh in the trenches kind of thing. So I really like it. I think they're a contender. I don't think they're. I don't agree with you guys on that Lamar Jackson take.
What were
So
you gonna
you're a
go?
big Lamar Jackson fan? Where you putting him as a contender? That's what you're saying?
100%.
What?
Bro, you
100%.
can't keep
Why?
putting trust into Lamar Jackson, bro. He's just
You know what Lamar Jackson does in the playoff. He's going
yeah.
to choke. He's the James Harden of the NFL.
Well, you mean
He will
former
choke.
NFL MVP Lamar Jackson?
You just can't, bro. Like
First off, there's a possibility that Joe Burrow he might not even make it to the playoffs this year. Joe Burrow might take the Bengals to the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs last year,
I'm gonna
and
put him
I
in the
thought they were
playoffs
good.
just because it's 2v1 here, Russ. But
Wow.
I think like I said, he turned me. I was a non-believer in Lamar Jackson when he first started, and actually, funny story here, Russ. The Chargers made me a non-believer. I don't know if you watched that game, but the Chargers were
Yeah.
on Lamar Jackson's ass that game. But
Yeah.
he
We
turned me
still
into a
lost though.
believer. Yeah, he turned me into a believer, and then he turned me back into a non-believer. I just can't trust this guy, man, and he's way too talented to do what he's doing. But let's go on to
I will say
go ahead, Russ. Go
you
ahead.
make good arguments against Lamar.
Hey,
Like it's hard to argue against that.
yeah,
But I think that team is just too stacked.
it is, man.
Too
It sucks.
stacked.
But if you had a choice, would you pick the Bills or the Ravens?
Bills.
All right, well, that answers a lot to me. So going on to the
Yeah.
Saints with my favorite quarterback, Mr. Spencer Rattler, because I don't know if Miko once said that Spencer Rattler is a really good quarterback because he was in South Carolina. I don't know if I was arguing with you about that, Miko, but going on to the Saints, man. This was one of possibly the worst drafts I've ever seen. Let's see.
What?
Where are
It
they?
is so much work. What do you mean?
New Orleans Saints. There, I couldn't even find them. That's how shitty it is.
Top needs quarterback.
Yeah, 5-12, fourth in the NFC South. Don't worry, Russ. I'm gonna play the clip of Mr. Whatever this guy's name is right now. Let's see,
Tyler Show.
Tyler. So, oh my God.
Yes. So, right, their needs was a wide receiver, a corner, a edge rusher, an offensive guard, and a QB. So in the draft, they got an offensive tackle out of Texas. They got Tyler Show, you know what I'm saying? Arguably the best QB in the draft, you know what I'm saying? They got defensive tackle Vernon Broughton out of Texas. They got two Texas players, as a matter of fact. They got a safety out of Virginia. They got a linebacker out of Oklahoma. They got a corner out of Louisville. They got a running back out of Kansas. And for the seventh round, they got a tight end out of UCLA as well as an edge rusher out of Syracuse. This draft right here, I'm actually liking, right? So I know he's playing these random ass fucking clips of Tyler Show. This is just the bad stuff, all right? In game, he's actually a better QB. Is he better than Shador? No, he's not.
Okay,
But
so that's
he's
the
better.
argument. God damn it.
The argument is he a good QB for the NFL? That answer is yes. He's a good Q. See, play the highlights, bro. You're playing a bunch of bullshit. Play the fucking
Yeah, just take
highlights,
a
all
look.
right? So he's actually a decent QB, all right? So, but the
Him
main
drinking
focus
water, that's a
is
highlight?
yes, drinking water is a fucking
Oh,
highlight,
he's
bro. All
tired,
right.
bro. Hey, Anthony Richard, this guy's tired.
You ever played in fucking Louisville, bro? You be fucking hot as hell too, drinking water. All right. Anyways,
This is a bad
their
highlight
main
video.
pick I
By the
like
way,
was
this is
Kelvin.
from the official New Orleans Saints YouTube channel. Just throwing that out there, ladies and gentlemen. This is
Bro,
the
fast
best
forward.
highlight. It's been 30 seconds and we haven't seen a goddamn thing besides this guy drinking water and being
Bro,
tired.
fast forward, bro.
Well, it's a good thing he's playing in the fucking stadium because Lord have mercy if he plays outside.
The kid is nice. All right.
There's got to be
So
commentary on that.
he
Okay,
has
bad defensive play.
no, it wasn't. He
Okay.
has like this. I don't understand why this isn't your favorite player, Russ, because he has like the same, almost kind
Don't
of like the
say it.
same mechanics,
Don't
almost
fucking
kind of
say
the
it.
same
Don't
mechanics as
Don't.
Phillip
dare.
Rivers, as far as throwing.
Don't.
That
I was about
throwing
to say.
Okay.
mechanic
Okay.
I
where
thought
you
you were gonna
damn
say
near throw
Justin
from the
Herbert.
fucking just straight from the fucking wrist. It's just all wrist. That's kind of his thing. So Anyways, Kelvin Banks Jr. That is one of the best. I feel like it was the best offensive tackle in the whole draft. So they definitely bolstered up on their offensive line. I still feel like this is going to be a mediocre team. I don't think they got better defensively. I know they did draft Vernon Broughton in the 3rd round out of Texas, but I don't think he's going to make a major impact just off the gate. So I think it's going to take a couple of years maybe to develop him. I'm putting this team as mediocre, me personally.
Russell.
Let me look at their depth chart real quick.
You don't need to,
It's
bro.
garbage.
No, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
Because
say
I
there's
it's
don't
no.
think this
garbage,
team is
bro.
very
Besides
good at
Alvin
all.
Kamara, everybody else is garbage.
As of
Alvin
right now,
Kamara was garbage last year, bro.
they have Tyler Show starting ahead of Spencer Rattler.
Perfect. Thank God.
They got Olave. Rashid Shaheed was not bad. They got Brandon Cooks in the offseason.
Yeah, they still got Chris Olave, bro. They could put up points.
Yeah, but that guy's fucking walking Tua Tagovailoa.
Chris Olave?
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty injury
He had like
prone.
3 concussions
what?
within like fucking 8 months.
Was this his first season? Was he a rookie this season or last season?
No. He's
No?
been in the league for like 3. Okay, keep talking, Russ. This guy's on Henny crazy right now.
Yeah, I'm tripping, bro.
My,
I'm wild right now, bro. Shout out to the Henny
Yeah, I
guy.
was gonna say shout out to them. We still have fucking like 7 teams left.
Shout out to him.
My big issue with this team is the Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley coaching tree. I have intimate knowledge of when Kellen Moore and Brandon Staley were last together, and it was a horrible season. So I'm tempted to put this at bottom 8, even though I think their roster's not that bad.
Kellen Moore is a decent offensive coordinator, yo.
I would agree.
Tripping, Russell. You're tripping on this one.
But Brandon Staley is just the worst. The day he got fired, I was so happy.
Well, Russell, I am right there with you. This team sucks.
They're not bottom 8, bro. There's so many. Bro, we still have.
I can tell you another bottom 8 team, the last bottom 8 team in this list. So don't even say anything.
It's going to be the Steelers. Well, go ahead.
What?
The Steelers is the bottom 8 team.
Absolutely not.
Cam Ward is taking the Tennessee Titans to the fucking playoffs, bro.
All right, Russell, I muted him. He is saying nonsense. I'm not even letting him speak right now. There is no way he just said the Steelers are bottom 8.
That's nuts.
Bro,
that's a hot take.
Miko, I'm going to unmute you, and you know damn well the Tennessee Titans are the worst team on the rest of this list. But we'll get to them. All right? Right now, we're going to be talking about the Seattle Seahawks, one of your favorites. So let's go ahead and get right into it, huh? Let's go right into it. Let's see, Seattle. Where are we at? Seattle Seahawks, baby. 10-7, second in the NFC West. Some top needs were offensive line, wide receiver, cornerback, safety, and defensive lineman. So we got a guard, safety, tight end. They got Jalen Milroe. That's a good pick, by the way. Defensive tackle, Colorado State, Torrey Horton. I did see him when they played Colorado versus Colorado State. The guy's pretty good. Tight end from Alabama, a guard from Kansas, running back from Miami, offensive tackle, and a wide receiver from the University of Las Vegas. What do you guys think?
Boom. The best draft in the whole goddamn draft is right here. We're looking at it. So, number 1, right? They drafted a goddamn guard, Gray Zabel, out of North Dakota State. This dude can block 1,000 cows in front of him, all right? This dude is nice. I love this kid, right? Then they drafted Elijah Arroyo, the tight end out of Miami, right? Will Dissly, I love you, Will Dissly, but you're not a great, you know what I'm saying, pass catcher. You're good in the run blocking schemes. You're not a great pass catcher. Elijah can definitely be a good segue for Geno Smith to throw the ball, right? And if Geno Smith was to ever get hurt, guess who's coming in? Yo guy Jalen Milroe. You know what I'm saying? So this draft right here was dope. They covered both sides, offense and defensive sides, right? They got a defensive tackle out of Notre Dame, which Notre Dame was like killing it this year with Riley Mills. So I'm putting this draft as a super duper plus, me personally. And they're going to be a playoff team this year. That's how I feel.
Russell?
Okay. Well, first of all, Will Disley has not been on the Seahawks in 2 years. He was released at the end of
He
2023.
was with them last year. What do you mean?
No, he was with the Los Angeles Chargers last year.
No, he wasn't.
Well, the
He
He
fact that
was.
was?
Mika, are you gonna really argue with Bolt Up Chargers fan right now that he
Yes,
knows
I
who was on his
am.
team?
Will
All right,
Disley was on the
Bro,
Chargers.
pull it up right quick. Pull it up. Hold on. Now you tripping. I know I ain't tripping.
all right.
We
Well,
have Hayden Hurst and Will Disley.
Don't pull up Chargers depth chart. Pull up fucking.
he'll be right here.
And then we
All
got
right,
Tyler
whatever.
Conklin.
Whatever. Anyways, it doesn't matter who who their tight end was, because he was a blocker. This guy right here is about to be dope.
All right, Russell. Now that you proved your point to Mr. Miko Hicks.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do agree. I think this is an overall pretty good draft for them. I love taking guard in the first round. I'm looking at the wrong team right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's a tough division. I wasn't really familiar with the Seahawks before on what they were kind of struggling with. I'd put them probably as a fringe playoff team as of right now. They might be a playoff team. Did they make the playoffs last year? I think so.
I think they did.
No, they did not. Did they? The Rams made it, and I think the Rams just made it.
All right. Well, while you guys look at that, I am going to put them as a playoff team, and it's only dependent solely on one person, gentlemen,
Who's that?
and it's Mr. Sam IC Ghost Darnold. If Mr. Sam Darnold plays great, this team can go pretty far, man. And it's all
I'd
dependent
agree.
on him because everything else around him, I can't even complain about. I just can't. This team is really well built, and I think just them adding stuff from the draft is even better. But if Sam Darnold, it'll only go as far as Sam Darnold takes it. So if Sam Darnold plays good, I think this is just my decision is based off that is that they could be a playoff team, man. So it just all
They got
depends.
Cooper Kupp and JSN as their wide
But
receivers.
who's
This
gonna
might
who's
be a.
gonna toss it to him, bro? If Sam Darnold's seeing ghosts and throwing shit, then I'm
He's
not
not
gonna.
seeing good.
Dude, I can't trust
This
Drew
might be.
Lock. Absolutely not. Jalen
They gave
Milroe
him an
just
offensive guard,
started.
bro. They gave him an offensive guard
Okay,
in
well
Gray Zabel.
we'll see,
Gray
man. That
Zabel.
it's all this team lives and dies by Sam Darnold. Okay,
Noah Fant. That's the tight end I was thinking of. My bad,
that has
dog.
nothing to do with the
Noah
other guy,
Fant.
but.
Fuck. That is definitely not Will
All
Disley.
right, going into our next team here, gentlemen. We're down to our final 5 teams. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, another team
Boo!
that passed up on something they really needed. And it's kind of sucks that they did, but Pittsburgh Steelers 10-7, second in the AFC North. Some of the top needs were quarterback, running back, defensive line, wide receiver, which I don't know why wide receiver. You got George Pickens and Mr. DK Metcalf, so whatever. But round one, they got defensive tackle, they got running back, they got edge, they got defensive tackle, they got Will Howard from Ohio State, they got linebacker, and then they got the cornerback from Central Michigan. What did you guys think? What did you guys think?
So off the bat, I'm okay with this draft. Like you said, the wide receiver core is already shown up, but I'm not sure what their depth chart is on the wide receiver side of the
Let's
ball.
find out.
So if one of those were to get hurt, I'm not sure who the hell is their backups. But as far as the quarterback, Will Howard, I'm not a big fan of him out of Ohio State. Once again, I wish they would have drafted Shador in either the fourth or fifth round whenever Dion decided to let that let that clause up go saying like anybody can draft my kids. So out of this draft, the main person I do like is Jack Sawyer, which is edge rusher out of Ohio State. I feel like he was. I did watch a shitload of Ohio State games for some reason. So I think
Good team.
he is a nice player. Huh?
They were a good team, so I can't blame you.
Yeah. So he is a nice player to actually watch. He's definitely a really good edge rusher, and I feel like he will make an impact alongside was it TJ Watt? So this draft right here, I feel like was a B minus, and I'm still putting him as bottom 18 just because I don't like him.
Wow.
Whoa.
Well, before we go on to you,
They're in a
Russell,
hard division, yo. Look at their division, yo. They're playing against the goddamn Bengals. They're playing against the Ravens, and they're playing against the Browns. Somebody has to be left out, and
okay,
it's going to be them.
It's gonna be the Browns.
it's gonna definitely be the
No,
Browns. But before you
it's
get
going to
started
be
here,
them.
Russell, Miko, this is the wide receiver depth chart. We got Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, hell yeah, Ben Skowronek, Brandon Johnson, Lance McCutcheon, Rock Taylor, and Keyshawn Williams. So, yeah, you are definitely right. If one of these guys go down, the only person that I could realistically plug and play is Scotty Miller, and that's saying something. So,
I
because
know Ben Swarmy, Nick.
yeah,
I
but
know
is he better
him.
than
He
Scotty
played for the
Miller?
Rams.
Is he better than Scotty Miller?
He played for the
Exactly.
Rams.
Okay, so he's
I
not.
don't
Got
know.
it. So you are absolutely wrong about the Steelers being a bottom 8 team. They are mediocre at best, and the only reason I could say that, yes, is because of the quarterback situation. That's the only thing. If you're a team and not gonna say anything because the head coach knows what he's doing, I can never go against that guy's
True.
word.
Shout out
But
to Mike Tomlin. Yo, we
yeah,
want you on the podcast, Mike.
Mike
Come on,
Tomlin,
come on the
yeah,
podcast,
Mike
bro.
Tomlin, we believe in you. But the most important role, and you have nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph. Are we kidding? We gotta be fucking joking. We got Mason Rudolph and who was the other fucking shitters on this fucking thing? I don't even
I have
fucking
no
remember.
idea.
Who was the fucking other guys on this thing? Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson.
Ooh,
What are
get
we
out of Miami, yo. Shout out to Miami, yo.
what are
You know what I'm
we
saying? He got a couple of games under his belt.
1-3, one touchdown, three interceptions. Jesus fucking Christ. Bro, we can't do this, man. Mike Tomlin, I think the rest of your team I think it's pretty good. You have it set. You have it set like the Buccaneers had it set when Tom Brady went over. The team is ready. It just needs a quarterback, baby, and you don't have it. And you could have had it with Shador Sanders, but you know what? In Mike Tomlin, we trust, man. I just can't. But I think they're going to be mediocre at best. What do you think, Russell?
I would actually agree with that. What
They're
do you
gonna be
think?
bottom 8, yo.
Stop,
What do you
Miko.
think if
We got 7 teams at the bottom. What other 4 teams over here that's up here that's you think would be? Shut up. All right,
yeah,
we'll
there's
get to
definitely
it.
one more.
We'll get to it.
What would you say if like they get Aaron Rodgers tomorrow?
I don't think
Is
it
that how
changes.
much does that
I don't
change?
think it changes
Oh
anything.
no, Aaron Rodgers is garbage now. Sorry,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. Once again, I want you on a podcast too. But
We
you're
see
kind of
you
washed.
on Pat McAfee's show.
Yeah, we
Perfect.
see you on Pat
Perfect.
McAfee, bro, but you're kind of washed, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Just retire, man. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
they jump up to a playoff team.
Absolutely not.
No.
That's what we thought
I
with the
think Mike
Jets
Aaron
Tomlin is the
Rodgers
man.
that
back
were
in the
ready
snow?
for a quarterback. The
No.
Jets team, they got him, and it went to shit.
I think I mean they barely missed the playoffs with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
They did.
And I think
But
Aaron
that's
Rodgers
because the
is
Bengals had
significantly
a
better than both
shitty
of
ass
them.
start at the beginning of the
Absolutely
season.
not. Aaron Rodgers was not better than Russell Wilson.
No. Last year he wasn't. I
Yeah,
think with Mike Tomlin he is.
no. They needed a fucking like a stud nice. If they would have got Sam Darnold, okay, bro. If they would have got Sam Darnold, they'd be higher on
If they
this
got
list.
Sam Darnold, I would be talking a different tone with them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely,
Mason
bro.
Rudolph, as of right now, that's horrible.
Yeah,
That is
100%.
horrible.
You cannot start Mason Rudolph. I would honestly just start Will Howard. Let's just call it a day. You
Yeah.
cannot start Mason Rudolph, bro. That guy will not get you anywhere.
He does know your offense, though.
Yeah,
He
but
does know Tomlin. He knows the offense. There's something you can do with Mason Rudolph that you couldn't do with Will Howard.
well, I'm glad we're all on the same page here with Sam Darnold, but going into a better quarterback, Mr. CJ Stroud, man. Unfortunately, I don't know if they had a really good draft because I didn't pay attention to the
They did.
Texans here.
They had a good offseason, too.
Didn't have another team that did not have a first round pick. They got two wide receivers from Iowa State. That did not see that. Offensive tackle, cornerback USC, two players from USC. Sorry. They got safety from Penn State, a quarterback from Florida. I didn't even know that guy was even there. Defensive tackle and a tight end from Iowa. Iowa is known for their tight ends, so not really mad about that pick. What did you guys think? What do you guys think, man?
Go ahead first, Russ.
Can you? I was zoned out
Oh.
a little bit. Can you go back? More wide receivers.
Yeah,
Did
both
they
of
have a
them
first
from
round
Iowa
pick?
State. They did not.
That's just nuts. An offensive tackle that's really good. Cornerback, running back. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. I think in the offseason they also got an offensive tackle, a safety, a guard, a cornerback, linebacker. I remember they had signed someone that was really, really good, but I can't find him right now. I think they're for sure a playoff team. I think they win the division pretty easily.
Nico?
Won the division.
Yep.
Who the fuck is in their division? Hold on. The Colts, the fucking
Jaguars
Who
and
the fuck-
Titans.
Colts, Jaguars, and
They're definitely
Titans.
winning that division.
I didn't really care about this draft, to tell you the truth. I don't think I ever really look at the Texans like that as an actual football team. I'm still
Wow.
Yeah, they fucking suck. I don't care.
Their schedule's not
Let's
that bad
see.
either.
Let's see. They, like you said, they did draft two guys out of USC.
And Iowa State.
Yeah, and Iowa State for some fucking reason because they're fucking weirdos. I'll put them as a fringe playoff team.
I would probably have to agree with Russ here. I think they're just going to be a playoff team just based off division. So, and I think the Texans are still kind of a tough team to face, given if everyone's playing how they should be. Because when they're not playing how they should be by the plan, you can definitely see it because they start playing like fucking straight fucking dog water. But other than that, you guys got any closing statements on the Texans? Because it's kind of simple. I mean, they're a pretty good
What
team.
was their record last year?
Their record last year was 10-7.
And it's, yeah.
I see at worst 6 losses this year.
Okay, so
So
even
yeah.
better. It's just the
They
division, man. They could
still,
get the division.
Yeah.
honestly, like, even when it comes to fantasy football, I almost never look at Texans players. So
Nico Collins was
he was
pretty good.
hurt. He was garbage. He didn't do shit last
Joe
year.
Mixon wasn't bad either. Joe Mixon was
Joe
really
Mixon
good.
was really good last year.
Shut up, Jose. Just because you had him
Bro.
don't mean shit.
All right,
He's
well,
fucking.
we're going to get to your fucking shitty team, but as of right
Let's
now,
go.
Miko, I am just going to go ahead and start it off here.
Yep.
The Tennessee Titans are a bottom 8 team, and there's nothing you can do or say to convince me otherwise. But before we get right into your opinion, let's go see what they did in the draft here because
Yes,
obviously they had the
please
first
do.
overall pick. And I think the best quarterback, Mr. Cameron Ward, man. Shout out to
Yes.
Cameron Ward. He deserved that. He was
Cameron
definitely the best
Ward,
quarterback.
officially day one starter. Sorry, Will Levis, but you're
You're
going to have to get shipped
out of here,
out if
buddy.
you want to start ever
Take your
fucking again
mayonnaise
in
and
the
get the
NFL.
fuck out.
All right. This is the best quarterback in the draft. He will be a day one starter. He will make a major impact. Will they be a playoff team? I don't think so. I think they'll be a mediocre team. Definitely not bottom 8. I feel like the Steelers should have took that spot and been in the bottom 8. But you know what I'm saying? Russell and Jose can argue that bullshit, right? So this draft right here, besides Cam Ward, I feel like they did pretty well. They drafted 2 wide receivers out of Florida as well as Stanford. And they also got an offensive guard out of Sacramento State, Jackson Slater, who I have no idea about. I did not do any research on that guy. So sorry about you, Jackson Slater. But the fact that they drafted him, I assume, you know what I'm saying, the scouts was looking at him as some sort of capacity.
Here's your
So
score, by the way, Miko. Just as a little, I guess they had scores
it
and
was,
ranks for him. He was 9th overall in production, 6th overall in athleticism, and a total score of 9th overall for a guard in the combine.
9th overall
9th overall.
from Sacramento State. That's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? As all the guards that's in the goddamn Division One football right now, being ranked number 9, it's pretty good. So they know a little something out there. So I think this team will be mediocre. I think they're going to be definitely better from last year, just off of their number 1 draft pick. But I don't see them making the playoffs, not in that division, and that's what I got.
Russ?
I actually kind of agree with Miko.
Wow.
I think they'll be mediocre. Before I would have said bottom 8, but I'm a big fan of D'Amico Ryan. I don't think it's gonna be like a crazy switch right out the gate, but I think he can turn things around enough where they'll be mediocre.
Can I ask you guys something before we continue here?
What's
Okay.
the question?
Out of all the teams on mediocre, which one can the Tennessee Titans beat? Outright.
The
Uh,
Bears. They can beat the
uh,
Bears. They can beat the Patriots. They can beat the Steelers.
You would bet your entire net worth on that.
I will bet my entire paycheck on that.
Absolutely, you're smoking.
wow.
Russell? Because
I
this
will
guy's
bet my
fucking drunk right
paycheck.
now, so
You
he
said
don't
in the
know.
bottom 8?
In the mediocre. Who can
In the mediocre.
the Tennessee Titans beat from right here?
I think the Colts.
I'm betting my entire We Argue podcast paycheck
So
that the
nothing.
Tennessee
So nothing.
Titans
Right now
will
I think it's
be.
the Colts and maybe the Patriots, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
if you
think
were a
they'd be
betting man, would you put that money down against them?
I would, but I don't even think they'd beat all of the bottom 8.
They would definitely
That's
beat
a,
all of them.
absolutely not. You said the Giants
I
are good.
don't
You think they're beating the Giants?
The Giants should be higher too. There's a couple of teams that's in mediocre that should be in the bottom, and vice versa. So
Absolutely not.
this list is horrible. Just so
Well,
you know.
you helped fund it, so I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, huh, buddy? But I think the Titans are on the right path. They got what the biggest piece you can get on a team. Just building around him, man. You got to just take a page out of the Caleb Williams / Chicago Bears notebook and just kind of go from there. So we'll shout out to the Tennessee Titans for getting their guy, man. But
Wait, Jose, who do you don't think they beat anyone in mediocre?
absolutely not. I would not bet my
What?
money on any of them. No,
Nobody? Nobody.
Not the Colts?
I just don't know anyone else besides Cam Ward on this team. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. No one else. Calvin Ridley, is he still on that team? That the only other
Yeah, he
guy?
is.
Okay, Calvin Ridley, that's it.
Tony Pollard.
Tony
Tony Pollard.
Pollard. You gotta be fucking joking, buddy. Tony
You
Pollard?
get that guy a decent fucking
I
offensive
have to
line,
give
bro.
him something.
He
I
will
have to give him
run
something for him to produce.
marathons for
Absolutely
yes,
Hold
not.
on.
just like
Hold on.
every other
Hold on.
running back.
Tyler Lockett. Van
Miko,
Jefferson.
can you just answer that for me? Because you were talking shit
Yeah,
about
I'm not
Tyler
saying
Lockett.
Tyler Lockett.
All right,
I
perfect.
don't know about
All
Tyler
right, cool.
Lockett.
So now, before we keep going into this giant mess that you guys are wrong in, let's be real. The Tennessee Titans are trash. I don't know what you guys are trying to defend. We got one of the trashiest franchises I've ever seen. We got the Minnesota Vikings for you guys.
Let's go,
Let's
baby!
go see. I'm going to let Miko take
Go
reins on this one.
Vikings!
Let me just go to the actual draft. Go ahead, Miko. Take it away, buddy.
All right, yo, you know what I'm saying? So this is the best team in the NFL, right? So we have the Minnesota Vikings. They drafted Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State. They drafted Ty Felton out of Maryland. They drafted Tyron Ingram Dawkins out of Georgia. They drafted Kobe King out of Penn State, and as well as Gavin Bartholomew out of Pittsburgh. Boom, right? So our needs was a corner, a offensive guard, a defensive tackle, a safety, as well as a wide receiver. And honestly, cornerback, they definitely needed help in. They got none of that in this draft. So I'm hoping that they will get more in free agency. They did grab wide receiver Ty Felton out of Maryland, who is let's see, he's a 6'1" wide receiver, 183 pounds. He did run a 4.37 in the 40. So he is you know what I'm saying, a little bit on the quicker side, not as quick as I want him to be, but for the 6'1", he does got a little bit of height on him. So I assume he can, you know what I'm saying, got a nice little jump to him to where he can catch those 50-50 balls, which will be a nice little asset just in case if Jordan Addison was to be out for an extended amount of time for, you know what I'm saying, all the legal shit he got going on.
Oh yeah,
So,
legal stuff going on.
yeah. So I personally, other than the cornerback position, I actually like this draft. I still think they're going to be on top of the division. They're going to be. I still think the Lions will win the division, but they're going to be right there neck and neck with the Packers once again. So I'm putting them as playoff team. But yeah, what you guys think?
Russ?
I like that they're protecting JJ McCarthy. I like that a lot.
Let's
He's
go,
got really
baby! I
good.
didn't even talk about him. Let's go.
He's got really, really good weapons. A fairly solid defense. So overall, I think this is kind of maybe more adding depth than anything. That being said, their schedule is pretty tough.
No, it ain't. It ain't tough.
It's pretty bad,
It ain't tough.
and I could see them having a losing record.
You're not having a losing record, bro.
They're really good, but I think they're fringe playoff team. Do you know your schedule, Miko?
No, what's the schedule? Name it off. Go ahead.
All right, you started off with the Bears. That's pretty easy. Then you got the
Loss.
Lions.
Loss. That's 2
Then you got the
losses.
Packers,
That's 3 losses.
Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders,
Count that shit. Put that
Ra-
shit on the head.
Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, and then you got Atlanta Falcons.
That's a win.
And you got the Bears again,
That's a win.
Lions again,
That's a loss.
Packers again,
That's a loss.
Cowboys,
That's a win.
Giants,
That's a win.
Steelers,
That's a win.
Browns,
That's a win.
Seahawks,
That's a loss.
Chargers,
That's a loss.
and that's it.
That's 11 losses, buddy.
That's a 12
Yeah.
game. We win in 12 games, yo. What do you mean?
I could see it very
I
easily
went
being
into
a
the
losing
future
season.
as I was thinking. As you were saying that, I was going to the future and like reading it off. Yeah, we won 12
We
games.
were having that Henny vision.
Mm-hmm.
I would say fringe playoff.
Yo, that'd be a pretty good segment though, Miko. We'll call it the Henny vision. You take a
The
nice little
Henny
sip. Yeah,
Vision.
you take the little sip of Henny, and then you're like, all right, I predict this team's gonna win. Right,
Ooh,
straight.
He
That's a
puts two.
yo, we doing that. Hey, write that down. We
yeah.
might
The
be
Henny
doing
the
that.
Henny vision is
The
crazy.
Henny
But
Vision.
you know what, Miko? I'm gonna put. I think the Vikings are on the fringe of playoff team, and the only reason I don't put them as a playoff team is really just the quarterback situation, man. I just don't know what's gonna happen.
You guys
Obviously, we haven't
are.
seen any JJ McCarthy. So if
We
he's
have, yo. We saw the preseason. We saw what he was able to do.
the
He literally
preseason,
won the starting
you're playing a
job.
bunch of nobodies in the
He won
preseason.
the starting job before he tore his ACL. All right.
When?
So Sam, that's the only reason why we know who Sam
Yeah,
Darnold
and you
is
were on
right now.
fucking Sam Darnold's
Because
cock, so I
JJ
don't even want to hear
McCarthy
it.
tore his ACL. He should have been a starter. He should have had the greatest career besides Jaden Daniels, and we should have went to the playoffs. We should have killed Philadelphia Eagles. We should have won a Super Bowl. But JJ got hurt, so that's what it
This is
is.
wild.
If you guys want to sponsor me, strawberry chocolates right here. These are fire. But no, Miko. In all reality, let's be real. Let's be serious here. You can't trust anybody in your quarterback room. So
Sam Howell,
JJ,
no.
I can trust JJ.
yeah, if he
I'm
goes down, you're
trusting
fucked.
JJ.
I'm really excited to see him, but
I'm gonna go fringe a playoff team, Miko. I know it might not be the best, but I think if it would be a lot higher if I had more tape, man. If I had a little bit more tape.
I would agree.
All right, off to our final team. It's been a good little 2.5 hours with you guys. We're on to our final. Yeah, we're on to our final team here, gentlemen. I think one of the best teams in the league right now. Let's see what they did in the draft because I didn't really watch what the Commanders did here. Let's see. Washington
I can
Commanders.
name it all for you. I got you.
Go
So
ahead,
their
buddy.
needs was a edge rusher, a safety, a cornerback, a wide receiver, and a running back. So during the draft, in the first round, they got Josh Connerly, which is an offensive tackle out of Oregon. They got Trey Amos, which I really like, which is a cornerback out of Ole Miss. They got Jalen Lane, which is a wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. They got Kane Madrano, a linebacker out of UCLA, and they got Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, which is a running back out of Arizona. So this draft right here, I didn't really care for it. I know they did really need a cornerback. Defensively wise, they're another team like once that ball gets in the air, it's pretty much the wide receivers who's going to catch it, whether you like it or not. So getting Trey Amos out of Ole Miss will definitely help. Uh Running back position, I do like Brian Robinson Jr.
Austin Eckler
So
as
they
well.
Austin Eckler is back there as well. So they do have some good running backs. So adding Jacoby Croskett was just a depth chart move, I feel like. Same thing as Kane Madrano. And obviously Josh Connerly, I feel like is going to be their plug-in starter. So this draft was they already know that they're a playoff team, especially with Jaden Daniels at their quarterback. So they're just adding, you know what I'm saying, just adding little young guys to their roster. So that's what this is. I don't feel like they're a contender. I feel like they're going to be a playoff team again because I believe in the sophomore slump for especially for quarterbacks. So I think they're going to take a step back this year, but they're still a really good team, nevertheless.
Well, Miko, you're absolutely wrong. This is a contender in my eyes, man. This team is fucking nuts, dude. I don't know what else you could say. I mean, this team, Debo Samuels is on this team now. You got Scary Terry, Jaden Daniels. Man, dude, like the running backs, it just all works. Tight end Zach Ertz, like it just all,
You think Debo Samuels is actually going to make a difference,
yeah.
or
If not, take away from Scary Terry, and he's wide open. You're gonna have to,
absolutely not,
bro.
bro?
He's gonna free up a lot of
Debo,
shit,
bro, Debo
dude.
is
No,
the
he doesn't even have to
worst
do
route
anything.
runner in all
He
of
doesn't even
wide
have to do it.
receivers,
It's fine.
bro.
He doesn't have to do
And
anything
every
though.
wide receiver I've ever
Miko,
watched,
Miko,
Debo is the worst route runner I've ever seen,
buddy,
bro. It's
he
horrible.
doesn't have to
His
do
route running is
anything.
horrible.
He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to take some people away from others. That's fine.
He's not going to do that.
He is. Devo
Unless
Samuel.
unless you put him unless you put him in the running back position every now and then, he's not going to do that.
Okay, so they'll do that. They know how to use Debo, bro. They've seen plenty of tape of Debo. They know how to use Debo. All right. But kind of just going back to what I was saying, Miko. Yeah, I think the Washington Commanders are a contender team. I think they're a really good football team. They're very well coached. I just think it's one of those things where maybe my emotions are getting it, but I think Jaden Daniels is a fucking superstar, dude. He's a superstar. But that's just me. What do you think, Russell?
I agree. Contender. Jane Daniels is a stud. I think they only got better, given protection and shoring up the defense. I like Debo. If he can stay healthy, I think that adds a lot to a already like super powerful offense.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels. Greatest rookie season of all time.
Absolutely. Well, here's our list, guys. I think we did a really good job. I know Miko's still hounding over here with the Tennessee Titans and the Steelers, this
Absolutely.
and this, or the Giants, whatever. But I think we did a really good job. Feel free to comment down below to see what you guys think. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate Mr. Russell, our Chargers insider. If the Chargers
Whoop,
ever make the
whoop.
Super Bowl, we'll have Russell back on, but you may not see him ever because the Chargers may not ever go to the Super Bowl. But you know what it
Hey,
is.
hey, hey.
It is what it is. But we're gonna definitely have that Henny vision on next episode. We're gonna have that for you guys. We're gonna make sure you guys are entertained. Any last closing statements, boys?
No,
Yeah. Man,
it
like,
was fun.
comment, subscribe, yo. You know what I'm saying? If you new to this page, like it, comment, leave us, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to us, yo. We broke out here, yo. You know what I'm saying?
It's
We
hard.
out here in Palmdale, Lancaster. I'm in Cal City, you know what I'm saying? My boy Russ, he all the way in, he butt fuck nowhere in the goddamn mountains, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We broke out here, yo. You know what I'm saying? Help a brother out.
Well, I'm
That's
so broke,
all.
guys, just before we keep going, that I can't even afford a Dodgers flag, so I have an Angels flag behind me. So
Whoop,
please,
whoop.
but please, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.